Hello, everyone, and welcome to our movie commentary on my favourite Harry Potter film of the bunch, 2004's Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This time, not directed by Chris Columbus, although he is a
Oh,
producer. This time, it's famed Mexican director Alfonso Cuarón, who would later go on to make films such as Pedro's favourite, Children of Men, and
Nice.
Gravity. And Gravity.
Well, I do love
Oh,
Gravity.
wow,
so.
Gravity was good.
A lot of
so
people like
Dweebs,
Gravity.
does that mean that the children at Hogwarts will start eating tacos because of this?
I kind of wish the rebirth symbolism wasn't so blatantly in my nose, But whatever.
Anyway,
That's not for another
whatever.
time.
Just start
Again,
this.
yeah, start just before the Warner Brothers logo in
All right.
Yeah.
2, 1, click.
In a matter of seconds, that famous tune will be playing.
Yeah, this is also the point where the movies will really force in your face the fact that things are about to get dark.
Yeah.
Also, okay, when I first saw this bit in the cinema, I thought my projector was broken.
But don't you see today? We're finally going to the dark tone of the books rather
Well-
than the whimsical tone.
Well, okay.
of the first two.
To be fair, Pedro, even in the books, there was a noticeable shift. Because, the movies were pretty much just as
I
dark
would
as
say
the books
that
were.
the shift happened, to me, the shift happened more books-wise from, or the Goblet of Fire. But the point being that, I don't know, there's always been this kind of balance
I guess
between
you
the growth of Harry Potter and this dark side. But we'll continue later. Go ahead, please.
Right, there's one thing I want to mention about this film.
Hey there.
Alfonso Cuarón really loves. There's a lot of stuff that Cuarón really loves doing in this film. He likes the shots where it goes through the window into the next scene,
It's an homage to
And-
Citizen Kane, if you don't know, Dweebs.
and the fade outs.
Yeah. Now, I
Are
guess...
they typical in Mexican films?
Not aware.
Jesus, don't flash me.
Now, I guess, to be fair, I see where
But-
Tio's coming from, and
Well, yeah,
you
no,
know-
let me see. I think the movies instead jumped on the dark tone a bit earlier than what it should be. And
Yeah.
also, I will point out that the video games did this as well. Prisoner of Azkaban was the last that will use the official cartoony style that they started with 1 and started with 4.
Oh, yeah, there's,
They used the realistic style, and it was
that's
bad.
that's the transition he loves.
Uh,
The
movie-
iris
oh, there you
in
go.
but faded and stuff.
I stopped playing the games.
Oh,
because,
goody.
Well, sure.
Cheers, Java.
Aunt Marge.
Well, Shiroy, I'm sure you're gonna love the 7th and 8th games where, I kid you not, Shiroy, the spell you're gonna be using the most is
It's true.
Superfly.
She knows, Java, trust me.
Oh, you know.
It definitely does feel.
Okay, legit question here. Is there a single solitary redeeming thing about the Dursleys?
No.
Like, I know already because I read all the books, but I mean at this point.
No.
It's like one of those families that Light Yagami should be just annihilating with a death note.
I mean, I'd say that, the fact that they kept him despite, how much they despise magic and all that shit.
Wow.
But that doesn't excuse everything they've done to him, so no, there is no redeeming.
Out of curiosity, Bibbs, what are we watching on TV?
The weather.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not to mention, Shiroy, it's
And-
kind of hinted that they
this
did...
was Harry Potter was set during the mid-90s. It looks like they're watching.
It looks like a game show.
Anyway, not to mention...
Yeah, it was.
Really? You're making the
This was
dog
the-
drunk?
This was the early to mid-90s. This was before we came up with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Anyway,
Okay.
Shiroy, not to mention also, it's kind of hinted that the Dursleys didn't really have much choice in the matter. I mean, well, I'm pretty sure if they could have gotten rid of him, they probably would have. It's either like they don't
But
want
it's still
I think it was hinted at that they couldn't exactly.
It's still mind-boggling the fact that the entire wizard, faction allowed all these atrocities to happen just for Harry essentially to mature faster than he could.
Now,
I think
because-
a lot of the fans feel the same way because you'd be surprised how much fan fiction exists.
Yeah, Jesus.
When
Not just
McGonagall
that,
is Harry's adoptive parent.
Well, I wouldn't mean that, Shiri, but reading through the books and a couple of the side materials, like the actual Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find It, it's proven time and time again that the wizard community has a way of fixing problems by casting mass memory spells. So
Why?
why couldn't we do this for the Dursleys to make them more docile?
Like, I'm gonna be
So they
quite
like taking way out.
Like, I'm gonna be
You
quite
must not
honest.
interfere too.
Like, I'm gonna be quite honest.
Fuck.
I would not be surprised if the Dursleys are the main reason that American wizards don't want to fraternize with non-mages ever.
Okay.
And now we're getting someone's fetish.
Huh. Yeah, Harry's puberty is so out of control he can make people inflate.
Okay,
Without
okay.
even a wand. This is actually particularly weird.
You know, I have to say this right now. The community is kind of a bit unfair to kids. I mean, okay, so you can't do magic in front of muggles, but what about kids who can't control it on impulse unless Harry is intentionally doing this?
Why is
Who
the
names
dog
their
biting
dog
him? He's trying to help your owner.
The dweebs, they clearly force feed him wine before. I'm pretty sure it's tipsy at the moment.
Like, okay. I forget. Is Harry doing this intentionally, or is it just something he can't control?
Yeah,
Apparently-
I don't think the movie
this is
specifically says that. I think it just
one of this movie's themes is growing up, and so this is the comedic way of taking it on.
Not
Yeah.
just that, but again, that's what he mentioned. If I recall correctly, wizards don't cast spell without wands. So what happened here?
Well, okay. To be fair to you, some wizards actually can cast spells without wands.
also. Come on! Oh, come on! It's more simple. It works kind of like the balloon Mario in New Super Mario Bros.
It
doesn't make it
guys.
less creepy.
I like
No, not the dog.
I like the music.
Well,
broke his
okay,
nose.
she's dead.
How many times Vernon has fallen?
Yeah, in case
Some-
yeah,
Some
This
say
was-
she still flies to this day.
this was the third and last film to have
Well, Harry just murdered someone because that woman clearly went floating all the way to space.
Oh, this was the last movie to have Vernon's
Okay.
actor.
No. I was gonna say this was the last film to have John Williams as the composer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Also, in the book, I don't think she actually floats out there. In the book,
She at
yeah,
least didn't die, I don't think.
yeah. I mean,
They're gonna explain it later on.
Holy
Why
shit,
no?
this is even worse than Bruce Wayne knowing that his parents are dead every 5 minutes.
I know that. Well, I mean, it's in the book, she never actually floats outside the house. I mean, she floats inside the room, but here, she could possibly be dead. Okay, bit of disproportionate retribution, Harry. I mean, yes, they've been cruel, but they haven't tried to kill you to that extent.
Bye.
Now he's leaving.
Yeah.
Well, guys, Harry's wandering
Also,
off,
hi.
and
There you
Oh,
go.
there she is. Okay.
she's still there.
I can definitely see what Tio means, though, in that the movie kind of jumped ahead a bit with the moving to dark tones, because, yeah, this movie handles things quite more darkly
I'm
than the
jumping a
book.
bit ahead in saying this, but 4 doesn't even bring on the Dursleys portion. I know it's a bit of a filler moment, but they
was
skip
funny.
right at... Oh, and now Harry realizes that Britain at night is a very scary place.
yeah. So yeah,
Where
Harry
are
just
all the drug dealers?
Where's Jack the Ripper?
Not enough drug dealers. This isn't accurate
Joe,
at all.
Joe. This is Joe. This. I don't remember if this area of England had that kind of issue.
But
I'm not sure.
Dibs. As Star Trek clearly established, Jack the Ripper is an immortal form who passes down from body to body from time to time.
I guess
Right.
so, yeah.
Creepy playground noises.
Ooh,
Well, we do know
Yeah.
that ghosts are actually a thing in this universe.
they float, Harry. They float.
And now there's the dog.
I'm getting never-ending story flashbacks. Get away from me. Seriously,
Oh
fuck
no,
Mork.
it's the grin.
Oh, no, it's a bus.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's a plot element that will be only exclusive for this portion of the movie for the entire franchise.
Yeah, even in the okay, maybe it comes back in book 5. I think in the books.
I don't remember it appearing again in
Yeah,
any of the
that's
other
the-
books.
That's the night bus. Basically, it's
Is that the
the
lieutenant? No.
basically it's the shit get me out of here bus.
How convenient that they showed up here.
Well, in the books it's established if you and it's shown in the film too. If you hold your hand out how you would usually flag a bus down, the bus will come for you.
Whoop.
Okay.
You don't always have to flag buses down in this country, but on some stops you do have to.
Now, I'll admit, I never got why this movie tends to be like the most favorite on most people's of the Harry Potter movies list. Like, well, I mean, this movie's good, but I honestly never found it the best. I mean, for partly because I think adaptation-wise, it does cut out a few things I wish they'd kept in from the books.
And
also,
there you go. Similar to Doctor Who, it's bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
Joby, you're gonna hate Order of the Phoenix.
Oh, well, don't worry, Dozamico. I've seen both the movie and the book. And honestly, like I said, Dweebs, when it comes to Order of the Phoenix, that movie actually was a good adaptation because it got rid of stuff that was just cringe.
It got rid of Harry whining every 5 minutes.
And hey, movie 5 gave us Helena Bonham Carter as Bellatrix Lestrange. I will take that.
For the people who are apparently, sleeping on this bus, are they sleeping or are they dead? Because all things considered.
It's like
No,
that.
they probably put like
wrong. This man is deceased.
they probably knowing them, they probably cast Petrificus Totalis on themselves.
I honestly have to
probably.
wonder if you just end up, being raised properly as a wizard, are you just this used to stuff that you can sleep it off?
Also, I would
Maybe.
hate to have this job because basically, while Muggles can't see the bus, they can feel it. So basically,
Not the
I have to
granny.
be, I've got to be pinpoint. Ooh, yeah, I've got to be pinpoint accurate with my driving, otherwise I'm going to destroy half of London. Also, the Shrunken Head is voiced by famed British comedian Lenny Henry.
Huh, he can do a pretty good
Which is-
Jamaican accent.
Which is funny because later on in the movie, his then wife's in the film as the fat lady.
Huh.
He looks like someone that actually came out of terrible movies like Quest for Camelot.
Why, look at that, it's the Exposition News.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, Gary Oldman as Sirius Black.
Okay, that's fitting.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a shame he didn't get as big a part in Goblet of Fire, the movie.
It's just like a throwing cameo, like 5
as
minutes.
he did in the book. But my guess is he was busy filming. Batman Begins at the time.
Yeah.
So maybe he could only have one scene.
So it turns
Ironically,
out
still with Warner Bros.
So it turns out Sirius
Yeah.
Black was a mass murderer, and he apparently was one of the most trusted followers of you-know-who. Speaking of which, it's probably a good time for me to mention one thing that's different about this from other installments. You-know-who is not in this one.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, unlike in Half-Blood Prince, there's a legit reason for him not being in this film. He's still dead.
Well,
quote
I mean,
unquote.
to be fair, Michael, he even showed up, in some element in Half-Blood Prince. But here, though, and okay, I'll admit, maybe this is kind of the reasons why I was never too big on this one. I mean, okay, this was like, whereas the first two Harry Potter ones, had a similar element, this one definitely mixed things up in a way. Now, in some ways,
Yeah,
I
they
find
wanted to break the formula, Jova.
and I do think that in a lot of ways they
I
did.
go for Frankenstein Jr.
Wow, Tom really changed.
Yeah.
I don't remember him having a hump in the other two films.
Oops.
Okay, the first one, that was when he was in.
You run over the cat.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the car still. Oh, apparently that car's his, or he's he reads Stephen Hawking.
Well, it makes sense. I will say this, though. If there's one thing I noticed when it came to, odd-numbered Harry Potter books aside from 1 and 7, it's that in those ones, that's when we get, like, some of the most grim stuff happening to poor Harry just to break him. Oh, hi, Hedwig. How did she know he was gonna... Oh, goody.
Oh, it's yeah.
Fudge.
Well, this is the first time Fudge has ever talked to Harry, since remember in the last film, he couldn't see him because of invisibility. Yeah, she floated all the way from the south of England up to Sheffield.
Did the minister
in England, in the north.
Oh, right. It's a good time to mention it. Yeah, there's politics in the wizard world, and just like in the real world, the Muggle world,
It's
it's
botched.
I gotta wonder, did the Ministry of Magic ever eventually do enough research and investigation to realize that Harry was not the cause of what happened in Book 2 when Dobby really
they
did it?
don't really get a chance because remember, Joe, they changed the minister between book 5 and 6. I
What
think.
the hell's pea soup?
It's
pea
pea
soup.
soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, have you?
No,
have you
I
ever-
meant like what is? I mean, what do you do to the peas? Do you?
Mush them. Have you not seen The Rescuers Down Under?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, but they're called mushy peas, not pea soup.
Oh, shit.
Well, a lot of soup is
Dwebs, it's a
made,
soup
like-
or someone peed on it. There you go.
Like a lot of the ingredients that I put in soup, I'll put in a blender first. So you know.
But yeah, anyway, my main frustration, Tio, and to be
I'm not
fair,
sure you would put peas in a blender.
Yes,
So because it's Harry, he gets his books bought for him by the Ministry.
my
Of
main,
course.
my main frustration is that, again, the Ministry constantly talks up a big game, yet they never did enough research to realize it was a house elf that did the damage inside of Harry's home instead of Harry himself. Like, some Ministry you are, like, you know, heck, give the American wizardry credit. At least when they actually investigate something, they're thorough about it unless they're being obstructed.
Also, welcome to London.
No, you just execute. You just execute them.
Oh, this.
The Monster Book of Monsters.
No shit.
They're a
I
bit of
wouldn't
a
be-
pain in the ass in.
Oh.
Yes,
It's
Shirei,
adorable.
I wouldn't be so quick to awe. You know why? That.
I have
Aw,
to
it's
wonder,
adorable.
in whose right mind was it to make a book that can actually kill you? Like,
Edwig just stands there and see what happens.
seriously,
Hedwig's like, I should help my master, but this is so much fun.
seriously, I have to
Owls are
wonder,
pretty calm.
what is the logic behind the wizarding world here to make a book that's monstrous? Like, I mean, what, do you think someone's gonna try and steal the book or something? In that case, why aren't all books like this? Like,
Actually, no, Joe. Remember the first story established that there is a security measure for books. That screaming face.
oh, I know about that, but I wonder is like, why is it that the monsters book has to be, you know, well, monstrous? Did somebody just have a sick sense of humor and decide, hey, you know what?
Yes.
Let's make it so that our student, again,
Oh, I love this scene.
where the heck did that come from? What
What
happened?
many people's reactions are to housekeeping in hotels.
Yeah, I have to wonder, what exactly was the source of that? Did somebody just sneeze?
Oh, kitty.
Seriously, though, I always wonder,
No, I think you should murder him.
I always wonder,
Yes.
what was the source of that wind or sneeze or something?
It's like the fridge scene from Ghostbusters, Jova.
So, what kind of inhabitants are they having at this hotel?
It's magic. We ain't gonna explain shit. Also, Hermione's cat is adorable.
Yes.
So yeah, the Weasleys actually get a rare break and just got back from a big Egyptian holiday.
Because they won a prize.
Also, yeah, this another thing Quan really likes are these really long unbroken shots.
I don't mind them.
Yeah, again, yeah. I mean, unlike other directors, Quan at least uses it properly, like in this scene. Also, the film's writer is the same as the previous two, Steve Clovis.
Well, like, Gary Oldman must have had a field day. Just stand there mugging for the camera.
You have to
Yeah,
scream
yeah.
like you were the spider in
Yeah, I
Lost in
mean,
Space.
Yeah, come on, you're used to that by now, Gary.
Of course, Mr. Weasley, who works at the Ministry, wants to have a word with Harry.
I wonder how they managed to remember all that dialogue for a scene that goes on unbroken for like 3 minutes.
Well,
Well,
for the adult actors, I'm expecting because, you know,
Also,
professionals and
they're
shit.
also, Dripes, for comparison's sake, back in the days when William Shakespeare was alive, when plays were done, actors had to memorize their lines in one take, as in, basically, you were chosen, and then the day you showed up for the actual performance, you had to learn and memorize your lines.
Otherwise, you were screwed.
Yeah. Especially if the Queen was watching, because if you messed up in front of the Queen, well...
Zack.
So yeah, basically, Sirius Black is one of those people that just didn't know how to let go.
Also, it's a
Well,
good.
yeah,
It's
even-
also
even
seriously
when-
intro.
Even when Voldemort died, he was still
Yeah.
Gee.
fiercely devoted to him
Doesn't
and
that...
wanted to kill Harry as revenge.
And
That's-
it's also good to introduce the concept of Azkaban. Well, it was also mentioned in the previous movie, but essentially Azkaban is the equivalent of Alcatraz for the Muggles. Essentially, a maximum
Don't you
security
mean the
prison for
wizards?
wizards.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
Muggles, yeah.
Which is funny, we don't see Azkaban till the 5th film.
Also, you know, I'm just gonna. So apparently, the only reason Harry
Drop
wasn't
it.
So apparently the only reason Harry wasn't expelled
Yeah,
for,
drop it down the gap
doing
right
that
there.
stunt with his aunt was because that
Puberty.
Sirius Black is out, and the Ministry thought, oh, well, if we expel him, then he'll have nowhere safe to go. Which is kind
That's
of...
the only reason he gets away with half the shit he does.
Yeah, someone's out to kill him.
Again, though, this goes back to my problem. If they found out that Dobby was behind what happened in Book 2, then he'd just be on his first strike here, He was on his apparent first warning or something in Book 2, and I guess this would have been like, you're out sort of thing. Also,
I don't know if it's the easiest kind of acting job or the hardest, having to sleep while others are doing their lines.
It's a job for the extras, dweebs. We don't get paid that much
Also-
because of this.
Also,
I bet you anybody David Thewlis wasn't actually there. It was just someone who looks like him.
Also, Hogwarts is such a safe school that we now have textbooks that can eat you. Have fun, kids.
Yep.
Like, seriously,
As long as you know what you're doing.
Look. This is why Ilvermorny has a bigger, higher student population. For one thing, they aren't constantly dying.
And as usual, Ron isn't helping.
Of course.
Speaking of which, you ever been to Ilvermorny?
Sorry, Joe, I couldn't catch that.
Ilvermorny.
No, I don't know what it is.
It's apparently the best wizarding school in the world.
According
According
something's
to
happening.
Fantastic Beasts, anyway.
Yeah, the bus has stopped. Sorry, the
The
bus, sorry.
train.
The
The
train
train has
stopped
stopped.
right on
Well,
the
what a
bridge.
Okay.
Of course he had to stop for in the middle of fucking bridge.
Okay, look, here's another reason I kind of have an issue with Book 3, because this is when I just have to want to grab whoever figured this decision to help Hogwarts out by the neck and scream in their faces, Hogwarts is not safe, you morons! So, okay.
Yes, don't worry, students. Hogwarts is a safe school.
Yeah, it's safe, and we totally didn't hire some of the most dangerous creatures in our world to deal with these people.
It's weird because the creatures we're about to see are not even mentioned in the original Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them book.
Well, are Dementors really
And ladies and
counted as
gentlemen,
beasts, though?
I don't know, Joe.
Ladies and
It's
gentlemen,
really mysterious.
I give to you the Dementors. Apparently, a fun fact: Coron tried to have them be a practical effect, but they couldn't get it to look right. But
Well, for BCGI, it seemed
they tried
convincing.
what they did was they tried underwater puppetry, but they couldn't get it quite working. But they used what they saw as a basis for the CGI effect.
We don't have Nichols. Go away.
Hey, you come here often?
Oh no, my CGI terrible effect is going Shatner.
Wow,
Nah, I'm joking. I still find it fun.
Okay, I have to wonder, what would Voldemort's reaction have been if Harry got killed right there and then before even getting to school because of, well, okay, to get a bit ahead of myself, let's just say these guys are hired to keep Hogwarts students safe. Yep.
I love how the screen blended in with the train sound.
If you don't remember, it also happened in Murder on the Orient Express. Kitty.
Yeah. And there we go. David Thewlis is playing Remus Lupin.
Remus, whatever. It's
Remus.
Yeah,
Remus
that was
Lupin.
right, Remus Lupin.
The new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
I'm sure his name doesn't mean anything at all.
At this point in Hogwarts' career, the 86th one in 5 years.
Yeah.
Also, how he managed to sleep through most of that, I'm not entirely sure.
Probably just
Trust me,
pretending.
for experience, I can tell you, Shiroi, when you get used to travel by train a lot, you will sleep even on a rock.
Yeah. Wait,
Thank
what?
you, Ron. You're so helpful as always.
Weren't you two there when he was getting his soul sucked, though? I never get this. It's like they're trying to go off as if it was some bad dream, but no, it clearly did happen.
Also, yeah, this is kind of like I won't say a running gag, but a running thing where Harry says something happened and Hermione says, there wasn't any screaming or whatever, Harry.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Also,
you were
yeah.
a smart woman.
And now, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, here's what happens when John Williams combines a Shakespeare lyrics with a song.
Oh yeah, we're finally actually getting the Hogwarts song.
No, not the
I
proper
think you
Hogwarts
can-
song. It's just one John Williams made.
Okay, and here's another thing that's
You
going.
can find the proper Hogwarts song on the DVD extras, though, I think.
And here's a weird
Of
thing now.
the
is
next film.
From
Yes,
now,
Joe.
from now on, Professor Flitwick will now be a brunette.
All right, I forgot about this.
Even
Yeah,
though
we
he
changed
was-
completely his appearance.
It's the same actor. He just looks different. Maybe
Yeah, I
Why
mean,
not? Yeah,
he's
totally.
young.
Maybe Quaron didn't like the other look. I guess
It's not the same. I mean, he's distinctly younger looking. He's got a mustache.
Why do we have toads?
I don't know.
Because
Okay.
Special effects.
Dumbledore,
Wow,
you're a terrible director.
Oh, goody, this bit coming up.
Okay, yeah, the elephant.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
room.
go ahead, James.
Basically, Richard Harris unfortunately died after Chamber of Secrets was filmed. So so from now on, Dumbledore will be played by Michael Gambon.
I would say he's look-alike enough, honestly.
Oh, Snape, you're still salty about not getting the job you want, aren't you?
Yeah, he looks a bit like him, and I know, but I don't think it's and you know, I mean, one thing that I think Michael Gambon needs to be cut a little bit of slack on is that people always only seem to judge him from his Goblet of Fire performance.
Well, that did stand out. And to be fair, the problem
Yeah.
is like, well, here's
That wasn't his fault.
well, I get that, but
Yeah.
here's the
I
problem.
mean,
Let me
how he
finish.
acts here is, you know, fine.
Yeah, how he acts
Good
here is
job.
fine. Here's the problem, though. It's like, well, from these films onward, Dumbledore, except for in Half-Blood Prince, and that's freaking Half-Blood Prince, Dumbledore doesn't get as much presence as he did in the book counterparts outside of, the bad scenes. Like, well, I mean, seriously. Try and remember how much a role he has in, like, the fifth movie outside of the final battle and when he escapes. Not much.
Well, would you rather have that or him yelling all his lines in the fourth one?
Well, that's my point, is like, well, I mean, people tend to latch on to that because that was the role where he got the biggest exposure, and well, yeah. But anyway, now Dumbledore has some bad news.
Yeah, basically the Dementors are now going to be flying all around Hogwarts, hoping and the
Of
students are better
course.
hope that there's not a bad day and they run into one.
Basically, they're supposed to protect them against Sirius Black, even though, again, one of those Dementors nearly killed Harry before he even got into the dang school.
yeah,
But hey, it's not all bad. Hagrid's finally got a job as a professor.
They love
Yay.
torturing Harry, though. That's
The
thing.
previous Care of Magical Creatures guy wanted to celebrate what little limbs he had left.
Yeah, I like to imagine also that this
Ooh.
is partly because Hagrid's name was finally cleared in Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
A nice step.
Also,
Oh, yes,
also
we
the-
had a change to the lady playing the fat lady.
the fat lady was played by someone whose name I can't remember in the first film, but here she's played by
Like- Dawn French.
Dawn French. Yeah.
And now she sings.
And now the common room is
Jesus.
now the common room's right near the staircase, supposed to being in its own chamber.
No, I like Dawn French.
Hello, 10.
Fun fact, Mythbusters is later going to prove that that's actually legit.
Yeah.
By the
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
like I said,
Also,
guys,
John, but
it's
that's
not
the-
over.
what you said before. Yeah, it's what you're about to say. The fat lady sings.
It's
Yeah.
not over
Also,
till the
I've
fat
got
lady
a-
sings, yeah.
I've got a question for the non-Brits here.
Go ahead,
Where's
Joe.
nearly
That's
Sir
why it
Headless Nick?
Okay, question for all the non-Brits.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the other than the likes of Gary Oldman and the like? Have you ever seen any other British actor in anything that you guys have seen?
Yes, I think I have.
Yeah, quite a lot. Like,
I've seen plenty of British actors do that. I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
like Dweebs. Don't forget, one of the things that we rebroadcast constantly here in my country is Murder, She Wrote, which has Angela Lansbury in it.
That's like ITV4's
Oh.
favorite program or favorite program.
I have to
around
wonder,
here.
what were those guys eating that made them do all that stuff?
Aren't the oh, that's a charming sight.
Again, your school security force, everyone, just to protect you against one single man. Like, I get that he's dangerous, but
If they were
really?
like this for Sirius Black, could you imagine what it'd be like for Voldemort?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, well...
They didn't
Also,
protect the
no,
Swashbuckling
it's
Watch in the
Oh,
first
that's
movie.
right.
there's something else I need to address too. There was a change of filming location in between the second and the third film.
Oh no,
I
that
think the
poor
bird
bird.
died.
That plant
In
is
the,
still very dickish.
Huh, he didn't smack him,
Oh,
surprisingly.
goody, this teacher.
Yeah,
You want to say
Emma
something?
Yeah, basically, Emma Thompson plays Sybil Trelawney, the divination teacher.
And of course, she's completely nuts.
Emma
She's a
Thompson.
nutcase.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, okay. Whereas the previous two films mostly filmed their stuff in and around the studio, this time they used Scotland a lot. More specifically, I think the northern bit.
Isn't that where Hogwarts is actually set also in, in story?
Yeah, it's just this time they again, I don't know what it was. I can't remember what it was like in the other films. Let me check. In Chamber of Secrets, because it's the same location as the first one.
Now, basically, here's the thing about...
Also, Hermione pops in out of nowhere.
She just can.
Well, here's the thing. Hermione has a really botched up school schedule for this book.
Yeah.
We'll get to that
No,
much
poor
later on.
poor
Yeah, I
Neville.
mean, all the stuff in the first and second were either in studio or or some places around England. In this one now, it's mostly in and around Scotland.
One of the things I actually appreciate about the stories and everything is the actual implied growth of Neville as a character.
Yeah.
It's not direct. It's more subtle than you may think, but it's present. You can actually see if you spot it.
I also like to believe that she was totally trolling him back then.
Well, of course, the world still needs to be a dick against poor Neville.
Yeah.
Also,
Ooh.
I like how even in this world where all the shit that happens has happened, there are still people like Hermione who are actually skeptical.
Yeah.
No.
Please,
The grin.
Cameron.
The grin.
The Grinch.
The
The
grin.
Grinch.
Oh, yeah, this kid is weird. His only purpose in this film is to speak in weird
Exposition about the dog.
in weird exposition.
Now, funnily enough...
and also weird quotes.
Now, funnily enough, they cut out the scene where Professor McGonagall actually kind of, throws Trelawney under the bus and says, Trelawney is good at many things, except for what she's supposed to be actually good at. Predicting the future. As in, she's predicted the deaths of so many students, and yet many of them live to go on and lead healthy lives.
Hey guys, can you tell we're in Scotland?
Yes.
Look at the mountains.
I mean, to be fair, we have
Oh, they
mountainsides
could
like
have
this
been
in America.
CGI'd.
We have mountainsides.
Also, Hermione's being a bit of a bitch.
And to be fair, we have mountainsides like this in America too.
Also, a question: how did they manage to move Hagrid's house from right near the castle to down a mountain?
Also, don't you love how now it's okay for students to go into the Forbidden Forest for class?
Well, I guess during the day is more safer.
No, it's
I mean,
not
guys,
safer during the day.
Guys, it's a serious question, actually. How did they manage to move Hagrid's house to down a mountain?
Levitation
They
spell,
probably did it during the
Wingardium,
summer
mass,
holidays, I
mass,
guess.
remember, if enough wizards combine their Wingardium the Wizard spell, they can lift heavier objects.
And what happened to
Poor
the
Neville.
landscape?
You're in my thoughts and prayers, Neville.
Don't worry, Neville. Just hang in for the finale. You'll get your awesome moment. Oh boy.
Ooh.
Ooh, fight.
Do you two need
Yeah,
a mud
yeah.
pit to fight in?
Better
Malfoy,
rule you two.
Malfoy, at least my friends don't go around growing marijuana.
Wow,
That'll make more
really?
sense.
That's the best you've got.
That little quote will make more sense in the.
Well, to be fair, Pedro, Dementor did just nearly kill Harry, so it's understandable why he's freaked out by them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's just, all I'm saying is that even as a bully, Draco fucking sucks.
Sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, most bullies do suck. I mean,
No,
Well,
he's out
think
to being a
of it,
bully,
but-
Shiro. That's the thing. Being the bully is the most cowards, take the easy way out thing you can be at school, and yet this guy can't even do that. That's how pathetic he is.
You know, it's funny enough, the musical actually takes a jab at that, to the point where they have Draco played by a woman. Who
I don't know.
actually
I don't know, Jova. I think women have more balls than Draco.
Oh,
honestly.
yeah,
This is
that's-
what happens when you. This is what happens when you don't pay attention.
I love that joke. though.
Ron, you're a dick.
Which joke, Shiroi?
Where they all step back and he didn't realize.
Yeah.
So yeah, hippogriffs.
No,
no,
you won't
let's
get
go
to
over
that
that
eventually.
now, please.
Yeah, just run the fuck away.
It's like Inara when you bow to the deer. Just bow to the deer.
Back.
Yeah, up.
Well, cried. You know, again,
don't worry. As long as Buckbeaks aren't offended by snapping twigs, I think we'll be fine.
again, I just love Voldemort's reaction if Harry got killed during class by this. Like, again, Voldemort's not in this yet. Harry has quite possibly been in the most danger he's been this one school year. We haven't even gone to the halfway point.
This thing kills him after it took me 13 years.
Like, seriously.
Yeah, that would be quite pathetic.
Seriously.
Yeah,
there-
Also,
I'm gonna-
yeah,
maybe
we
more
literally
like an
did the
arsehole.
eat an apple joke. Come on.
Like, seriously, it's
Remember, this was years before. This was 2004, way before Cinema Sins.
like, seriously, it
Well, in general, it's been a thing in movies ever since, I don't know, the 80s.
seriously, at this point, guys, we have to wonder, which is more the problem, Voldemort or Hogwarts itself? Especially when Book 5 comes about.
Yeah.
Well, Voldemort actually threatens to kill Hogwarts, doesn't, so...
Yeah, but honestly, Umbridge just... Oh,
Not
but...
at Umbridge yet.
Wait, what?
Whoop.
Hagrid, wait, what? Look, we just got him to accept us. I don't think he's that
I did
okay
not
for a ride.
consent to this.
And coming up is one of my favorite pieces of music in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, if Harry were to fall off, that would be Voldemort's job just done right there and
Bye,
then.
Harry.
Like, you know, honestly, now I have to wonder if Voldemort's actually just purposely staying around to see if Hogwarts kills Harry first. I mean, like, Dobby nearly killed him with a bludger.
There you go. There's your whimsy to balance out the darkness.
Yeah. Don't worry, Tio. John Williams is there to help you out.
And when
Doesn't
Dom-
help by the fact that everything's cloudy.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is just
it-
British weather, don't worry about it.
It's more realistic.
That's actually quite something. A darker color palette, but it's still got John Williams being whimsical.
That's one thing that I like about
Let's see,
Leighton's
if-
romanticization of England. So that way I don't have to look at clouds, boring clouds all the time in the Leighton games.
Now, folks, if you look below the water, you'll notice about a mermaid who will later be established in Book 4 as having inhabited this lake. Please keep them from kidnapping any children and possibly drowning them just for the sake of a stupid tournament.
Actually, Jova, the tournament was its own thing. According to the Fantastic Beasts book, it's the kelp, the one that does what you said.
Well, yeah, but again, the students are at risk of drowning.
True.
And down we go.
Whew. Well, that was nice and happy. Sure would hate for the other shoe to drop.
We didn't see any of that, but yeah, you came back alive.
Yeah.
Harry called him Professor.
Just stick to the
It was a
script.
great day.
Of course. Please tore Terry's head off.
Yeah.
Well, it broke his arm, so there's one.
Well, he deserved
that-
that.
It's better than nothing.
What did you think was going to happen?
You know what? I think Malfoy knew what was going to happen and wanted that to happen.
Hermione, that thing should not be, visible.
What?
It's foreshadowing, sure.
Oh,
It's
that! Sure. Luckily for her, no other student knows what it is because she's the only student who apparently researches that much in this entire school.
Well, isn't she lucky?
Oh.
I know, right?
Aw.
Don't worry, Buckbeak. I still like you.
Hey,
What the
Ghost,
fuck?
could you please direct me to wherever Sir Nearly Headless Nick is? Thanks, bye.
Also, I thought the Great Hall was near the stairs, but now it's.
Oh, this is kind of another problem I had with this film more so than the book. Is like, well, again, changing things is one thing, but they could have maybe done a bit better with the consistency from the first two movies, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Something about it kind of makes it feel a bit less fantastical than the first two movies, scenery-wise. Eh?
Dufftown. That's actually a real place, by the way. It's not. Dufftown's not just some fancy name. It's actually a real town in Scotland.
Yeah.
Again, what's with this kid and his weird words?
He doesn't have, but he's literally the token black guy.
Isn't he Seamus?
No, Seamus is the one on the left.
Really? I thought the black kid is supposed to be Seamus.
Please
No,
don't do the
Joker.
close-up.
Anyway, you were going to say something, Siri?
No, I forgot now.
Okay.
Oh, hi there, Dementors. Again, wasn't it such a great idea of Hogwarts to give these guys free roam of the place?
Oh,
Now for
goody.
defense against the dark arts. And this time we're going to learn how to get rid of those little things in the cupboard.
There are...
Not the students. Not the students.
Wait, oh my god.
That missing object in Heavy Rain that should be in the kitchen cupboard.
Okay. While book 3 and by
It
extension
only
the
works if you see
movie...
repeatedly too.
Okay, while book 3
I'm
and by
sorry.
extension the movie may not be my favorite, I think this definitely is my favorite Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher because for starters, he actually does his freaking job. Like,
Yeah.
let's see, in the first one we had Quirrell, who was, well, Quirrell. The second
Well,
one
we don't see much about it. The only thing we get is the one where he has the iguana on his hand.
And then there's, of course, Gilderoy Lockhart, and, well, we all know how that went.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lupin this time does actually mean well. It's just what's going on with him isn't entirely his fault.
Again, doesn't it figure the one guy who's probably the best qualified for the job, and he has, well, okay,
Yeah.
let's say for now he's frail. Anyway, he's gonna help figure out how to repel a boggart.
Jova, he's a little bit like the what's his name? Dr. Montgomery. Like he's the one good thing in all this mess, so we can't keep him.
Dr. Montgomery from what now?
Series of Unfortunate Events.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
if there's one thing that many people agree that the film does better than the book
Yeah.
is establish better what's going on with Hermione in this film.
Eh?
The time turner.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, didn't the book already kind of mention how...
Yeah, but I know, but the book didn't foreshadow it very well. Here they establish, Hermione got here quick. How did she get here? So the stuff's at the same time.
Admittedly, in the book, they
Well,
mention...
the thing is, Dwibs,
Admittedly, though, in the book, they do mention how, her school schedule has stuff that has classes taking place at the same time as other classes.
Not as often as here, though. I don't think.
not just that, Dwibs, but here's the thing.
Also, anyway, Neville's greatest fear is Snape.
Alan Rickman. Alan's not that scary.
Not just... See,
Oh yeah, basically, here's how it works. The repel spell is ridiculous, and that basically makes the boggart look silly,
Of
and you're able
course.
to...
It's the simple mechanism of making fun of your fears and by that defeating them.
So, who's next?
picture everybody naked method.
Yeah, basically, I can imagine how it would go. Pedro could imagine Matoma Toriyama as a clown. Jova can imagine. I don't know, what would you imagine, Jova?
And Tail
That's funny.
can imagine the creators of Earth and Seraph as...
Oh, I've got it. Jova can imagine lightning as a mime,
Hi.
Hi there.
and Shiroi can imagine whatever her least favorite Steven Universe character as a football.
Well, I'd say a basket of kittens, but
Well, this is Warner Bros. We kind of need some slapstick.
Going back to the foreshadowing.
And I'd imagine Ballistic as a good movie.
Going back to the foreshadowing, though, Dwibs, the thing is, with a movie, it's way easier for Quaron to foreshadow the time turner in here because he actually gets to use, the visual cues like her showing up out of nowhere and stuff like that. Whereas in the book, it's much
Ah,
harder to.
Actually, that's worse, I would
That
say.
isn't a good thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What
Whereas
the
in the
heck?
book, it's much harder to convey that without just blatantly expositioning.
I'm sorry. In what universe does that make it better?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's
No,
like
wait,
an
that's
that's like an
not-
attraction from Baby Geniuses.
Oops.
Yep.
It turns out Harry has a new greatest fear, and by the way, Voldemort's gonna be so jealous.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
And also, that turned into a full moon.
Which turned into a balloon.
Hint, hintity, hint, hint, hint.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, but Lupin's gonna turn into a balloon at the end.
It's a shame. I would have
But
loved
we
to see
already
what
had that
Draco's
happen
fear
to
would have
Aunt
been.
Marge.
Yeah, I mean, come on, just because Harry sees a Dementor, the whole lesson gets cancelled.
Well, that could have been. That the logic is that it could have been conditioned the other students.
Oh, right, this. Basically, you recall earlier, Harry was trying to get a permission slip signed by the Dursleys to get to go to Hogsmeade.
But because of the incident with Aunt
Auntie
Marge,
Marge, yeah.
You know, it's a shame he can't actually file for adoption.
Why aren't you my mother?
Seriously, you're way more responsible. You're actually authoritative, like, dang.
You're one of the people who put me on, their doorstep.
I know, right? I really do have to wonder, what was Dumbledore's reasoning for leaving Harry with them? Like, heck, even McGonagall herself said that they were terrible. It's not
Well,
like...
as
Harry
we
will be safe
unfortunately
with them,
learned
Jova.
from much later movies, there's method to his madness.
Jova, Harry will be safe with the Dursleys.
Yeah. Just give it till book 5, then we'll see if that still holds.
Yeah, Lupin's, the only reason Lupin stopped the lesson is because Voldemort was going to show up.
Even though it wasn't Voldemort, go figure.
Lupin jumps in way too quickly in this stuff.
What, the movie or the book?
No, Lupin.
Oh. Yeah, I was asking in the movie or the book.
Both.
Admittedly, Lupin kind of has a reason for jumping in because, well, wouldn't you know, he also was good friends with Harry's heritage. Oops.
Oh, great. I mean, was this the one that started the whole I recognize you by your eyes thing, or was that the
Yes.
previous film?
No,
Oh,
it's
God.
this. I mean, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
well,
Okay.
I can't wait for the 8th film to fuck all that up.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that when we get to that. That's like 5 movies away.
Mm-hmm.
Even... So, what about his foot? Oh, all right, I guess we're not there yet.
Well, the father, he could get the rest of his looks from his dad.
Oh, well, that's the thing, Dweeb. You'd think he'd recognize him more from his father since he was good friends with James.
But eyes is more, poetic.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't like that from the book, but that's... okay, this is another reason why, again, this movie is not my favorite. Again, it's not bad. It's just definitely not my favorite. It's like, well, this is also where I felt that the dialogue started to get sappy at times. Like, I mean, real sappy.
I can't wait till the 6th film.
Oh, well...
When I was in Japan at the Harry Potter thing in Universal, I bought so much sweets.
Like, okay, oh, wait, did you end up getting one that tastes like,
There was a lot of gross ones.
But it's a bit of a queue getting into the common room.
And now for the
Like, not
first...
from people desperate to use the toilet.
And now...
No one wants to queue to go to sleep.
And now here's a weird thing. For the first time ever, we see
Hi,
students...
Ginny.
Oh yeah, hi Jenny.
Here's
You
a-
exist.
Now here's a weird thing. For the first time now, we see students wearing just casual clothes, and I don't mean like, well, just that as in like, well, clothes that are not robes
Also,
or anything.
apparently, characters
I
in,
guess-
in portraits can cross over into others.
Now,
I
okay,
guess
There's
it was.
also
I
free-
guess,
oh,
my
sorry,
guess is. My guess is a free day. Anyway, go on.
There's also some other stuff in the later books that is really odd because we know this universe has their own bands and musicians and such, but in later films they have like radios in the common room that play popular songs.
Also, what's kind of a
Like-
shame, they got rid of this awesome knight character who actually temporarily takes the fat lady's place in the third one.
Oh,
the
don't
book.
worry, Joe. We'll see him. We'll see him more in the interactive game bits of the second disc of the DVDs.
We actually saw him early in this movie as a cameo, but just as a cameo, which is a shame because they had a cool arc for him going on in that book. Which is, I guess, again, part of the reason why this isn't my favorite movie.
Oh,
Aw, what have you done to scare Dawn French, you bastard?
How did you know what he looks like, though? If you...
Jeez.
His
Soren?
face is plastered everywhere.
But again, though, that begs the question: can portraits just go all over? Because we haven't really...
Yes.
Because we
Yeah, they
have...
can even leave the castle too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's weird however that goes. Ah, yeah, sure, lock the doors. I'm sure that'll work, just like it did in Chamber of Secrets. Ooh, wait.
But these are super secret doors, Joe. I remember, it's a slight difference in filming locations, so they're more secure.
But don't
That's a lot
castles
of
normally
locks.
have secret entrances or exits?
This castle has a lot of those.
Yeah. Again, they have a basement with a snake that students had to find out about.
ironically enough, without the lady in the paint, we cannot access the dormitory.
Yeah, so they have to sleep, under supervision.
Which is,
Aw,
again, weird.
it's adorable.
Why didn't they bring the night character in? Then they were able to sleep in there.
These are
But,
stone floors. It's probably very cold and uncomfortable.
boy, poor Gryffindor. Now, I guess now...
Yeah.
that-
Yeah, see in this film, Dumbledore's a lot more soft-spoken. Michael Cameron's Dumbledore is a lot more soft-spoken and
Richard
and
Harris
all
is?
that in this
Well,
film.
you say that, but then we get to the next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, again,
Direction.
yeah, again, Sheila, he's calm
No,
here.
no,
and
I know.
And he's significantly more calm than the ones David Yates did. So in that case, I'm going to blame Mike Newell.
Yeah, again, that's just a problem. It's like, well, that one performance kind of tainted him in the eyes of fans. Didn't help that people were clamoring for Ian McKellen to play Dumbledore at the time.
It's nice what they do to the ceiling, though.
Yeah.
Fun fact,
But,
actually,
but
originally
again,
they actually did approach Ian
McKellen-
McKellen to voice to be Dumbledore, especially since he was originally the original pick. And hey, he was Gandalf, so he was the obvious next pick. However,
But he refused because Richard Harris didn't think much of him as an actor. So
Hmm.
hey, Whomping Willow,
Well, that was
woo,
pretty
cover my shame.
it's a wow, guys! Professor Snape finally realizes his dream.
Temporarily.
Also, best line coming up.
I'll cherish it until
Yep.
you can. And thus a being was born.
Okay, yes.
I just love the way Alan Rickman said that.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
quite honest. Even in Half-Blood Prince, Alan Rickman did help me get through that movie. Like, it's Alan Rickman. Fun fact, actually, like with Whiplash and J.K. Simmons, everyone who speaks kindly about Alan Rickman said that, on camera he had to be Snape, but off camera he was one of the nicest people you'd ever get to know. He wants to teach them about werewolves.
Be quiet.
Am I crazy?
Snape, what do you have against werewolves? What, was your old ex a werewolf or something?
Also, this is your dream job, and I know you're only doing it temporarily, but is this really your happy face?
I once went to sleep. I once slept with an animated.
Excuse me, that's Leonardo da Vinci's man. What the fuck have you done?
I went to. I can imagine
Um,
it now. I can imagine it now, actually. I went to sleep with her, but during the night I found her a bit more
Tia
hairy
was-
than usual.
Are Italians furries, Tia?
Not just that.
Yes,
let's-
tell her.
I wouldn't dignify that comment, but let me just say that the Harry Potter books are weird in a sense, but they do a lot of history revisions to a point
like-
where the seventh book kind of implies that Jesus was a wizard as well.
I don't
It's
think
like-
Tio, from what he said before, is particularly fond of furries anyway, so...
And yet, they stick with the Sonic fan base. I
Well,
don't know why.
to be
So,
fair,
back-
to be
back-
fair,
back
Tio, to be fair, Tio, your country does give us a lot of movies where animals work with humans and, well, interspecies these
Yeah.
relationships, and you know,
What
it's
can I tell you,
I love-
Joe?
I love how I love that bit, Snape. So there's like Mr. Burns doing a reason you suck speech to Lisa or something. About
Also,
how he's a
this
villain.
confirms clearly that Draco is the origami
Wow.
killer.
Oh my
Also,
god.
here's like a more weirder musical decision here. Williams doesn't reuse the Quidditch thing from the other films. This time he makes a new one.
And here's another reason why the third movie is not my favorite. What they do with Quidditch, or lack of Quidditch in this one.
Jova, don't you think you should save that complaint for the fifth film?
No, Dwibs. Not only that.
The fifth film had more
Why
Quidditch. The fifth
do
book
we
had
have
more
Quidditch
in it
matches
than
with
the-
this weather?
Jova, if you're gonna accuse this film of having only one Quidditch match, then you should do it for all the other ones.
No, Dwibs. It's not because there's just one Quidditch match, but it's also because there's a certain development that happens regarding Quidditch with Harry in the third book, and, well, they kind of squander it on just the ending scene of the movie.
Look at that!
Oh,
This
hey!
is why Hufflepuff can have nice things.
by the way,
Also,
that was Cedric Diggory there. Hi, Edward.
Oh, was it?
Yes, that was Cedric Diggory, everyone.
Yeah,
He
he's
will-
the seeker of Hufflepuff, I remember.
and he's
Also,
also
I
Edward
couldn't
from
remember.
Twilight.
I couldn't remember which book it was, but yeah, I do remember that there was one where Quidditch was quite prevalent for plot reasons. So yeah,
The
that was-
fifth one.
The third one.
What was the fifth one?
Well,
maybe
okay.
both, I don't know.
Okay,
but...
okay. To be fair, Dwibs,
Also, it's just a dick making him go all the way up there.
well, that's
Yeah.
kind of a snitch in general.
Oh.
Also remember, Dwibs, I mean, go pretty much in like, in most of the earlier books, except for 4, we do get, all 3 of the Quidditch matches. I mean, granted, it didn't matter as
Yeah.
much in the first 2 ones, because, by the time they're about to do the final match, something goes wrong. Well, actually, okay. I guess to be fair, in the first book, they actually did win the matches, so they got the Quidditch World, the Quidditch House Cup. In the second one, the final match got canceled because of the stuff going on with the Basilisk. In the third one, there's a special development again going on with Quidditch, which is again.
I'm gonna chalk it down. Remember, Jova, these films are long enough as they are without the Quidditch matches.
Yeah, again though, the development here is regarding Harry getting a new broom.
Oh, he gets the new broom in this film.
Yeah, but only at the end. It's frustrating. Like, really frustrating.
Well, Jova, we see it in the next film.
Yeah, for the little there is in it. Like, look, again, this was one of those movies where they could have at least had the other Quidditch match. It's like,
Yeah, again, Joe, I'm gonna chalk it down to if they put all that in, the film would be like nearly 3 hours.
No, there's a way they could have fit it in there properly.
Nah, I'm gonna have to disagree.
We'll agree
Same.
to disagree.
Why
Especially
is the
since there are
problem if it
some
was
scenes
long?
also that they didn't really need to add in. Honestly, it's a Quidditch match. I mean, if it keeps people entertained, then have it be lengthy. I mean, look, the only time...
Jova, here's a spoiler for you. Not everyone likes sports.
I know,
I like
right?
his attitude. It's like I almost died, so who won?
Yeah.
But it's not important right now. I guess Dumbledore called the match off. I guess.
No,
It
basically
shouldn't
they...
have been
But
mentioned.
yeah, the Nimbus 2000, alas, is gone.
Basically, it ran into the
He's been
Whomping
wrecked.
Willow, and off screen, oh my god, they killed the
He got.
they killed the broom off screen, guys.
Does this count as the
All right,
first
Pete.
major character death?
Yes.
yeah, the freaking broomstick.
Well,
It
they
was
do
a
kind of have
life.
lives of their own, sort of.
So again, Remus is taking Harry for a leisurely stroll for the Forbidden Forest. It's like, okay, what happened to the rules about, not going into the Forbidden Forest if you didn't want to suffer a death most cruel and painful?
well, to be fair, Joe, but here they're with professors.
Well, okay, I guess to be fair, they had to go into the Forbidden Forest for detention. Hypocrites. So I
Now,
guess
could
to
you,
be...
hey, Shiro, could you imagine if Ofsted tried to inspect Hogwarts?
Again, Hogwarts, safest school.
God.
We tell students that the Forbidden Forest are dangerous, yet we send them there for detention. Hey, Hedwig.
Oh.
Yeah, but
So Harry wants to learn how...
I'll teach you, Harry, but first I got to go on my Christmas holidays.
So Harry wants to learn some advanced magic and learn how to basically, stave off a
Repel.
Dementor.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, for a Bogart, it's obvious. It's ridiculous. But for an actual Dementor, that's something interesting.
And a bit more complicated.
Also, I hate to sound like I'm complaining, but I do feel that, compared to the other two movies, this movie feels like it rushes a bit through its elements. A bit. Not, okay, not too much.
Goblet of Fire.
Oh, well, Goblet of Fire is the culmination. It's like, well, whereas the first two movies felt like, they adapted pretty much what they needed to for the most part, in this one, there are some elements I do feel got zoomed in, or heck, some elements they rearrange and put at different points that don't really make sense. Like, Harry getting the new broom, that's at the end. Like, I have no idea why, because him getting the broom is also supposed to help foreshadow a particular element.
In that YouTube poop that the Master Poop did in this film, they made it so that Fred and George were dragging Harry to a gay club.
Of course.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, this.
The Marauders map.
And again, this is one of the reasons why I feel this gets brushed a bit. It's like, there's no sense of build up to it. It's just, hey, here's the Marauders map. And
It was
again,
like that in the other films too.
well,
it was like that in the book.
he just had the stone in his pocket.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it was like that in the books, Jover, except the conversation that Harry is having now with Fred and George actually went on for a little bit longer than it does here.
That's part of it. It's like, well, I feel like, well, again, it feels like they're rushing a bit because, well, they're afraid of going too long. And, I can get that. But I do feel that maybe they could just pace things a bit more
Also,
slowly,
daily
that's all.
reminder that this awesome mechanic could make to be easily implemented in any video game is implemented always poorly in the video games. Thank you, EA.
Okay, I'll be fair. The Prisoner of Azkaban game was actually pretty good.
Yeah, but
Well,
It's the one I played the most.
I'm just talking about this specifically.
yeah,
Like,
It's got-
I'm not future
Azkaban's
in
got my
game.
favourite.
I'm not future in video games. It's one of the easiest things to do, and you have the perfect opportunity offered you on a silver platter with this.
and
you-
Azkaban, Prisoner of
Don't.
Azkaban's actually got not only my favourite film score in the series, but also my favourite game score.
It's hard to decide which is my favorite film score. I think that may be Chamber of Secrets. Well, but again, Chamber of Secrets is like possibly my favorite Harry Potter film.
Yeah, mine's a two-way tie when it comes to. Well, okay. This one tops all, but my second favourite is here's how I see it. If it's my favourite film
Harry.
score from the films that isn't from John Williams is from Goblet of Fire.
Wow, yeah.
Cue the Candyman song from Willy Wonka.
Who can take? It was one of the Warner Bros. Didn't release it originally. Who can take the sunrise?
And
really, Harry?
Yeah,
Harry, why
you're a
did
dick.
Harry, why would you torment Neville of all people?
How can you even lick it through there? You're wearing the invisibility cloak.
There's
That's
a floating lollipop. Someone you don't deal with that.
Oh, and by the way,
Normal
here we have
administration.
the Shrieking
Oh my
Shack.
gosh, a floating lollipop! Ah!
Fun fact, I believe the Shrieking Shack comes back in later material.
Also, barbed wire. We weren't
Okay.
expected to see that in Hogwarts.
It's because
Okay,
I
don't you
got-
have don't you have anywhere else to be? Don't you have any life outside of our own?
Don't you see, Pedro? It's like the relationship between Batman and the Joker. They need each other.
I actually do.
He's pretty much only doing this because Harry didn't want to be his friend in the first movie.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, people tend to joke about the whole shipping thing, but the source material implies more than it may be apparent.
Yeah.
Seriously, he's literally just being a bit of little shit because we didn't want to be his friend.
He's lonely.
Ah!
So, anyway, I forget. Did they ever establish the origins of the Shrieking Shack in this or the fourth one?
Don't remember.
Down.
Bye, Draco.
Whoa, I gotta say, Harry's got some pretty good upper body strength to be doing all this. And
Harry's
again,
a wizard.
all over the cloak.
Must have been fun to.
I love how the
And
cloak somehow stays on him perfectly fine this entire deal.
Also, Goyle probably got pneumonia because of this, but whatever.
Just some barking around.
It was funny, though.
Hermione.
No.
You don't know us well enough, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Rosamada.
Madame Rosmerta.
She, forget what she does.
She runs the she runs one of the pubs. I can't remember the name of it. The Three Broomsticks, I think it is in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Possibly
he
is
made
nice,
him
though.
step in shite.
Oh, yes, Fudge, indeed. You're doing such a bang-up job to stroke your own ego.
Yeah, don't say his name aloud. He could be right here.
If somebody whispers something to you, you don't go and scream it.
Who, Grindelwald? And Harry's gonna fall in after them.
Yeah.
There's
Shut that door. This is the ending of Rhapsody's Kids.
Yeah, the shrunken heads are dicks.
I know, right?
Oh yeah, apparently. Oh, the shrunken heads weren't actually in the books. That was something Coron came up with.
You know, it's weird. In the first movie, isn't it established that somehow people can't touch Harry or something when he's using the cloak?
I'm
the
actually
cloak only makes him invisible. It doesn't
Yeah,
make
I'm actually
him
more
non-physical.
surprised.
Okay,
I'm actually
because-
more surprised that high-level and veteran wizards still can't perceive if someone is under an invisibility cloak. Like you would think that if you have experience enough, you can somehow detect.
It's amazing
Because-
how quiet
I
Harry
mean-
is, because I think it was
Yeah.
established in the first movie that they can at least hear him.
I mainly ask
Oh.
because I kind of recall during the first movie, there's a scene where Snape actually does reach out for him, but I forget. It's like he goes through him or something.
It's both in the first and in the second, sorta.
I know that in the first one, there's definitely a scene where Snape thinks he has him, and then he reaches out. I forget if
Also,
he goes
Doggo.
through him or Harry just
No,
backs.
Harry backs
back off.
so-
Oh, okay.
I am
Wow.
Godfather.
You know, it would really suck if Harry just happened to be listening to this, but yes, he is in fact Harry's godfather, even though you'd think that right would have been revoked by now.
You know, we had too much fun in the last scene. So
Yeah.
Harry's a
Christmas.
dick just running through the
Okay,
choir.
Harry, you have an invisibility cloak. Something that Solid Snake would kill for, and yet you still stuck at stealth.
Nah, it's still not as good
Then-
as a cardboard box.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah. Again,
Harry's a bit
I
a
don't
little,
upset.
a little bit upset.
a
He'll be
little bit,
fine.
huh? Can you
Also, I just want to point out that this technically means that Harry has been baptized.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Meaning also that all wizards actually practice religion.
Yeah. Well, it kind of
He
was
said, I love this bit. Harry, could you repeat that last bit again, please? What's so loud?
Okay, no need to shout.
Okay, I get that this was Daniel Radcliffe still in his puberty era, so he was getting the grasp of this, but again, this is kind of like the first scene where we ever see Harry this truly angry. And this is after him knowing all the death that's happened. It feels awkward because, oh yeah, now we're back to spring becoming spring. Again,
To spring becoming spring?
Mind the camera.
see what I mean when I feel that this film feels a bit rushed in some elements? Like, again, we have that one scene where he's mad and everything, and then boom, now we're going to him and Remus studying.
Again, I don't think it's as bad here as it is.
Oh, I agree. Like I said, Dwebs, it's not my favorite Harry Potter movie, and again, I'm not even saying it's bad, it's definitely not my favorite. As in, it's a case where I never got the praise for this film compared to 2. Like,
It's
that's
more of a
something.
reaction effect. Well, compared to 2, I don't know, Joe, but it's, compared to the others, it's a reaction effect in the sense that some of the sequels are inferior to it still.
And I guess, again, I just really am not a fan of, all the scene changes compared to the last 2 films, because, I get it, they're filming on location, it's just, starting with this film, there was definitely a very different visual change, like, also, we'd see less of the characters in the classic robes and more of them just in their casual clothes, it's like, yeah, all this and that.
It's the thing, Joe. The change of director is more noticeable than it may be happening in some other products. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, Alfonso Cuarón's got a more distinct style than Columbus.
Now, if I recall correctly, they're still using Bogarts basically to practice.
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
So, apparently, a Bogart can actually take on the very physiology to an extent of these creatures, to the point where Perry can practice the Patronus spell on this one. That's actually quite interesting. Like, I had to wonder, does this mean that a Bogart could technically give, well, you know, could it actually take on the elements needed? Like, say you needed,
That could have gone better.
yeah.
Well, they're not going to get it the first time, are they?
Like, okay, say like, you need, oh god, I forgot, what's the name of those creatures needed to cure students from being petrified from the second?
Mandragores.
Yeah, it's like, say you needed a mandragore. Maybe you could have the Bogart turn into a mandragore, somebody has an innate fear of them, and use them for that. And then maybe if you need them, say, to extract a certain liquid, you could do that. Like, well, when you think about it, when used properly, a Bogart could be a one-stop shopping means of getting herbs.
Well, you should be knowing this by now, but there's a lot of things that this universe establishes and never takes fully advantage of because the Rowling doesn't understand herself the implications on them.
That's one thing I do like the Fantastic Beasts movie about, is for them pretty much taking a jab at the wizarding community for never actually thinking to take advantage of the beasts here and there. Also, I will admit now, I have to wonder if they'll actually make an Ilvermorny school, or, well, I mean, Ilvermorny is a school, but I wonder if they'll ever actually have something set there, so we can see what the American school is like. I mean, typically...
Alright, round two.
Round two.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure some of those shots were also recycled.
Come on, Aaron, say it like you mean it.
That's better.
There we go.
Oh,
No, please, don't flash me.
The power of the Hallelujah Choir compels you.
John Williams compels you.
Yeah. I'll definitely give this movie this. It does have a killer score.
Well, it's from in his prime John Williams, Joe.
Yeah. I really wish he was still capable of making a score like this today.
Well, hey, he did pretty good with Last Jedi's score.
I agree.
My problem with his recent Star Wars scores, I mean, see, the problem with Star Wars, it's Star Wars. I mean, a Star Wars scores to be phenomenal, and they're just...
Well, Last Jedi score was phenomenal.
I would say Last Jedi is way better than Force Awakens.
It is, but still not good enough. It's not a brilliant score. That's the problem.
I guess it depends on your viewpoint or yours. Aww, your mother. Man, poor James. Like, okay, Harry remembers his mother's mother. Never his father. Like, it's always, I remember you because
there's probably a good reason for that, Jova.
Not just that, this makes me think that Rowling kind of had a hidden agenda in making the character of James miserable ever since now.
Well, not only that, but it's also a thing in Peter Pan, too, whenever it's about the mother, but never the father.
Rubbish.
British terminology.
Yeah, I know, it's just the accent makes it
speaking
cooler.
of rushing in some things, let's also get back to another subplot we've been going.
Kitty.
Oh, that's right. It's implied that Crookshanks may have killed Ron's rat. Again.
Yeah, Hagrid had a little bit.
What are you
now
wearing?
Hagrid had to go to a hearing about the book.
Hagrid, the set of the Flintstones is actually right there.
Ah. Jason Isaacs.
Of course.
Yeah, even when he's not in the movie, technically, Jason, you can still feel his presence.
I know, right?
And again, I think the Harry Potter films are like the only places where I've seen Jason Isaacs not have an American accent.
What about Peter Pan?
I haven't seen that one.
I can also tell you this, that in the Castlevania games, he keeps his British
so
accent.
Buckbeak's been sentenced to death because Lucius Malfoy had just enough money to, influence.
Just because he scratched someone, he gets killed. Again, it's like what Pedro said in one of our FIFA parts. I'd be like, if I stepped on Pedro's toe and he had me executed.
Not just that, it's a bit weird because knowing the character of Lucius, You'd think that he will not be this protective with Draco because he doesn't have high regards on him.
Pedro, you spilt
Yes.
you spilt my drink. I will execute you right now.
There you go.
Any last requests?
I mean, I guess to be fair,
Argus Fields.
Argus Fields, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
not-
I remember Mr.
Peter,
Wait,
Peter
Peter
Pettigrew?
Pettigrew?
I
Aren't you
thought he was
supposed to be dead?
He's supposed to be dead.
I just remember that convenient word I overheard.
Whoop.
Harry will remember this.
Yes.
Also,
Now, Harry Potter, the Telltale game.
Put it out. Harry's dick. What's just trying to sleep?
mm-mm.
Wow. Okay. Either Pettigrew's wearing an invisibility cloak, or he's like microscopic.
Yeah.
He's veering down that way.
Maybe use that spell that Merlin did
Wait,
to
he's
win the
coming.
magic duel.
Oh no! Quick, the camera's coming! Quick, Harry!
Ah,
Yep. Yeah. Plot twist: it was Harry's twin brother,
Chin.
Chin Potter. Yeah, stop being a dick. Oh boy.
oh,
Oh.
crud.
Oh shit.
You know, thinking back to it, Bruce Willis probably would have appreciated a map like this during Die
yeah.
Hard.
No,
Yeah,
notice
it will totally not be busted, yeah. Like,
and also notice how Snape just came on in the background. There's actually a nice bit of detail
yeah.
before Harry turned off the light.
Yeah.
Like, who do you
Wondering
take
how
me
long he was
for?
there for. Like, right behind him.
It's like in Batman Forever where
Uh-oh.
the riddle.
Snape just said he's like his father, strutting around the castle at night.
Whoop. Please.
Uh-oh.
Turn
Mr.
out your
Snape,
pockets, or I'll make you.
Mr. Snape, are you trying to seduce me?
Yes,
Please.
Ultra, but
Yeah,
just
sure.
about a
You'll
parchment
be
in a
carrying out.
wizarding world like ours.
He's not having any of your
Yeah,
shit. Come
I'm pretty
on.
sure you'll be carrying just a spare bit of parchment around with you at night.
He asked him to reveal its secrets. Mooney, Wormtail.
Okay. I like this bit here too, but I like the bit in the book a bit more. I'm gonna go get the book actually and read it from it if you want.
Sure.
I'll be right back.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Lupin the Third. I just needed some toilet paper.
Found it.
Please don't die.
That's all right, guys. I found it.
God.
Okay. Page 211 of the third book.
Oh, wow.
Mr. Mooney presents his compliments to Professor Snape and begs him to keep his abnormally large nose out of other people's business.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Mr. Prongs agrees with Mr. Mooney and would like to add that Professor Snape is an ugly git. Mr. Padfoot.
Will someone think of a painting?
There's more. Mr. Padfoot would like to register his astonishment that an idiot like that ever became a professor. Mr. Wormtail bids Professor Snape good day and advises him to wash his hair, the slime ball. And that is that.
You know, it's also sad, you know, hindsight, considering everything.
I think that's the first time I've actually read out directly from the book for a commentary. And this time, it actually the context it actually makes it actually relates to it.
Oh.
Yes, don't go wandering around again, Harry. Otherwise, I will be forced to
Do things.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you know how that map works.
Yeah, I'll know if you've been going to the girls' dormitory, Harry.
That would be awkward.
Yeah.
Ah,
Hmm.
oh boy, another Trelawney moment coming up, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Tio's favourite.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Tio's favourite character, Trelawney. Yeah, Trelawney's so exciting even there.
Has one done anything in this movie yet? Like, that's sad.
Hang on a second.
Hmm? Can you please? That face.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I can't believe it.
What?
Steve Clovis made Hermione not good at something.
No. Also, don't you see? Emma Thompson just predicted she will have been starring in a Disney movie soon enough.
Emma Thompson
basically,
predicting that Emma Watson would be in there.
Basically, there's a lot of complaints that Steve Clovis really likes Hermione to the point where he starts making her a little Miss Purpose. So the fact that he makes her not good at something is amazing, actually.
You know, in fact, I dare say that was one of the few redeeming qualities of Half-Blood Prince, seeing Hermione get stumped at Harry, outdoing her in potions. That was like one of the few redeeming qualities of that. Anyway, guys, message for you in the chat.
Yeah.
Also, I like how Trelawney, like everything she just said was fluff talk for, yeah, you're failing this class.
Oop.
Oh no, Gary Oldman in a jar. Crystal ball, sorry. Most of Gary Oldman's performance in this film is just him staring at Harry or something.
Okay, thanks.
Him staring at the camera.
Oh crap!
What the
Emma, you might need to clear your throat. You've got a bad cough.
Yeah.
She's like Kate Blanchett in the first Lord of the Rings.
Hey, see, it's when she's like that she actually does get her predictions right. Figures.
So she actually can make predictions. It's just not as easy as, just doing it there and then. Which begs the question, why does this class exist?
No idea,
Because
Shiroi.
we needed this sort of course.
They could just read about it in books. I mean...
It's more baffling the way we're going to expand that class in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I think we're getting close to the climax already.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is another bout. I feel that, again, it's a little too quick. Like, I know that this is a 2.5 hour movie, but this feels a little quick to the bit. Again, especially since it comes right after the prediction from Trelawney. The world ain't fair, Hermione. Oh, goody. Okay. This is actually one of the best scenes.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, even if I don't like Hermione that much.
Also, I have a note about this from...
Look at that,
directly
Draco's sheet fire.
After the scene is done.
You...
Yeah. No, Pedro, you're absolutely right. He
You are-
clearly lacks.
A fucking slug has more dignity than you.
Oh,
Thank you.
ouch.
Thank you.
Don't fuck with muggles.
A fucking 10-year. These are supposed to be the bullies of Hogwarts. A fucking 10-year-old could bully these.
Remember,
Vulcans
bullies
call
usually
them-
pretty pathetic.
Let me put it like
Vulcans
this.
call better bullies than you.
Let me put it like this, Pedro. They're rich bullies, as in they're the rich, snooty ones who don't know how to get their hands actually dirty.
Yeah.
Also, pumpkins and
rats.
dead badgers, I guess.
I mean, yeah, those.
Also, I'm not sure if it was from the behind the scenes of the DVD. I don't think it was. I think it might have been on one of the many, many Harry Potter countdowns that have been on British TV over the years. But I believe Emma Watson said, I'll have to double check this, but I believe she said that she accidentally actually punched him during one of the recordings.
Was that the one
Really?
that actually made it in?
Wait, if in Lord of the Rings they go more than actually kicking and breaking his toe, kicking the helmet, made it in. I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if that bit
It
made it
wasn't.
in.
It wasn't that take. So, but yeah, that's something that happened.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Scabbers is alive, actually. Again, we kind of glossed over Crookshanks supposedly eating him, but he's alive. Oops.
Ah,
Eh? The heck? Now, who would be so rude as to aim a perfect shot like that through here and ow?
Oh.
So, were Dumbledore and Fudge just flicking
Waiting.
stones through
And the
theirs?
executioner.
I wonder who was throwing those stones, though. And we wouldn't want for you to get in trouble again, now would we? Also, what the heck did Hagrid cover up with the blanket?
was like a slug creature thing.
Why? I forget why he's keeping them around.
Because he loves animals in general, like even if they are dangerous. So he kind of smuggles them once in a while.
Well, yeah, we had to deal with that in the first one.
And also, remember, Aragog and his entire species were because of Hagrid.
Like, does the school even know that Aragog and his species sort of flourished in there?
They'll know eventually, Jova.
Well, yeah.
Besides, I think they're in contact with the Centaur community, and those know.
Really?
Well, it's not. Don't remember if it's already confirmed or anything, but it's more one of the implied stuff.
Eh? Oh, please, Hermione. Now you're just going mad.
And reminder that Harry was the one going mad.
Oh
The
boy,
previous
here we go.
Oh, no.
Shed a tear, guys.
Poor bird, horse, dog,
Lion thing.
hippogriff.
Yeah. Whoa, geez, so tense.
Oh boy.
Well, you know, they are literally just gonna slice him and dice him. And that's a big axe.
Damn. Yeah, you're right.
And
Slice.
cut.
Yeah.
Cut! That was a great run, everybody. Now let's get ready for the next taken. Oh, right.
Oh. Too sorry, we already killed the creature. Don't worry, we'll just get another one. Although, no way, Peter will be on our asses.
And now drawn as leprosy.
Brilliant.
Oh, that dang rat. Oh, no.
Oh
Please,
no, not the Shrieking Shack.
The Shrieking Shack.
The bumping willow.
Weeping Willow.
Rowling and her alliterations.
Oh.
Oh, it's a doggy.
Oh,
yeah,
please.
sure. Sure, you remember the Master Poop video I showed you?
Yeah.
The one where it replaces the wolf with Jimmy Savile.
Byron.
Hey, bring back our Ron. There's only one of his kind.
No.
And now the movie is turned into the Mystery of Sleepy Hollow, the one with Johnny Depp.
Oh.
Ow. Funny you mentioned Johnny Depp.
Remember the first time you met that tree, you didn't give a very good impression.
Nope.
Although apparently
The tree hasn't forgotten. Even if the tree's moved location, it hasn't forgotten.
No.
Yeah, since apparently they did damage to it with the car. Again, isn't Hogwarts just the safest school? Our very own trees can kill you.
Yeah.
Oh! Ha!
Nice.
All those years
Oh.
of jump roping did me well.
Except that time.
Jeez. Whee! I'm actually surprised this isn't a
Classic
ride at
90s.
Universal Studios.
Classic 90s style girls
Yeah.
shouting shot.
Well, this isn't
Shouting.
Joe, but you can get to fly around Hogwarts.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hmm
Oh, come on. Hermione, you fool!
It's Looney Tunes.
Oh,
Yeah,
again,
that-
Warner Bros. So.
What's what you were saying, Teo, about this movie being too dark?
Oh!
How did you manage to get free?
I guess the Whomping Willow was still sporting?
Okay, so we managed to negotiate our way through the mysteriously moved Whomping Willow.
Yeah.
But where does it lead?
It leads to I
forgot the mysterious shack of Grunkle Stan.
The
the
Shrieking Shack.
Shrieking Shack.
I forget.
Alliteration.
I think there's an origin to this house or something that's later
There is.
built up on.
Rowling loves alliteration.
Remind me, is the origin mentioned in this one or is it a later one?
I think a
I don't
later
remember,
one.
Because if it's
honestly.
mentioned in this one, the movie glossed over it.
Hey, Ron.
Eh?
Animanga.
Animagus.
Animanga, yeah.
Why, hello there, Dr. Smith.
No, Jova, you got it wrong. He's a wolf, not a spider.
He's still just as hammy.
Harry, let me explain that.
Jesus the angst.
You have to give him a chance to explain.
You know, I get the feeling that somewhere Stephen Moffat thought, you know what? Our protagonist strangling someone? I think they've got something going here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Joe, the Doctor Who, Stephen Moffat didn't write Twin Dilemma.
Oh. Thought you said he did.
Raymond, you sound like you're drunk.
Joe, I don't like Stephen Moffat, but I won't blame him for something he's not responsible for.
Maybe I got mistaken
But,
because...
what a twist, the two are actually friends.
Friends.
Just kiss already.
So,
So what is
How much of a
werewolf
what?
Or is a werewolf during the day? I think it makes sense.
Jesus.
When you've got Gary Oldman in your film, of course he's going to yell.
Yeah. But yeah, it makes sense. He just said that he's been 12 years, in the most maximum security prison of the Wizard World. So you betrayed the law. Who?
Remember the Marauders map earlier?
Yeah. Hey, Snape.
Wow,
Yeah.
Snape's fast.
if you recall, Harry dropped his invisibility cloak and Snape picked it up and used it. Why he needed it
Yeah.
to sneak behind them is beyond anyone's guess because the tree took care of things, but whatevs.
Maybe that's why we rarely see the cloak after this.
Don't remind me.
Yeah.
If could you imagine if Snape? Could you imagine if Alan Rickman was playing his character from Die Hard?
Yeah.
They've been wanting to give you a great big kiss.
Snape, we don't have time to hear your personal fantasies, you know.
Yeah.
Well, too bad. You will hear them as well.
Get the fuck out of here. Ooh, Harry.
Nope. Wait,
that actually works. Also, that worked more like a stupefy spell.
Yeah, how come it disarmed Harry and Sirius but knocked Snape out?
Because apparently whenever Harry uses Expelliarmus, that's his awesome spell, apparently.
Yeah,
That's
that's also what boggles everyone. Expelliarmus is supposed to be an extremely weak spell.
Yet whenever Harry uses it, it's like God hand.
Hey Siri, could you imagine if the plot twist was actually that Ron was Peter Pettigrew?
That would be amazing.
So
He's been drinking Apologies potion all this time.
So, according to Sirius here, the rat that we've been following for these 3 books is actually Peter Pettigrew.
So basically, Ron's been carrying around a traitor in his pocket.
Well, I didn't know. I forgot. Do we know how the Weasley got Scabbard as the pet for Ron?
No.
Here we go.
Yeah, Scabbers was Timothy Spall the whole time. Who knew?
I don't know much about this actor, Reeves. What else did he do?
He was the witch's henchman in Enchanted Tale. Don't you remember?
Oh, okay.
He usually plays characters like these henchmen who are really kooky.
He's more dramatic in stuff exclusive, really, to the UK.
And then there's Sweeney Todd, where he actually plays the muscle for once.
Please stay away from me. Yeah, thank you.
Come on, it's just a man who's been sleeping with Ron all around, and you know what? I'm gonna stop right there.
Oh, Dover, no.
Well, he has been doing it when you think about it. And again, Hogwarts, such a great school that Peter Pettigrew can get in right under their nose. Like, they don't have, like, a barrier that automatically gets rid of transformative spells.
Personal space.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think the line is in this movie, but in the book, Ron said something along the lines of, like, he's disgusted about the fact that he let Scabbers, who's this guy, sleep in the same bed as him.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, off.
Yeah. Oh.
Jesus, Harry.
Yeah, I'll give you to the people in cloaks.
No, not the jailbus witness, no!
So that's why he was all aggressive, because he was trying to go for the rat, who was
Of
in Ron's
course.
pocket.
Yeah, Ron is not very amused.
Well, his leg is kind of bitten from it.
Also, he has a flea problem, apparently.
Plus, guys, I got it. The reason why Sirius is...
Guys, you should probably not sit around the Whopping Willow.
Oh my god, that's right. Okay, in the book they actually go into detail about it. But, okay, yeah, Remus is a werewolf. And apparently he's the reason that the Whopping Willow was planted. Why? Because, well, apparently he's given some potion medication that keeps him under control whenever he transforms.
That's what the Shrieking Shack was for. It was always a place for him to hide.
Yeah.
And that's why the others became Animagus in the first place, is so they could keep him company as animals, because they wouldn't be able to do that as people.
Now, why the movie doesn't mention that stuff, beyond me. Like, it is kind of crucial since it does explain the Marauders rep, and now I realize they never explained them. Well, okay, they
That's
do
also another problem of the thing with, Jova. Due to the structure of the story, as we're about to see, we're already in climax territory, but it's still like three 45 almost minutes left in the movie. And we know we're going to spend out, but essentially the movie in itself has to be condensed and then leave a portion after supposedly the end.
That's the thing, because when it gets to, Buckbeak being axed off, pardon the pun, I always feel like, okay, we're in like the final stretch of the movie, and I do this every time, even though I've watched this movie hundreds of times, and I'm just like, oh wait, there's like another hour left of this, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, at least it's clear skies from here, guys.
Although I feel like...
Jova, very clever.
I feel like from here on out, it is actually quite slow compared to the rest of the movie.
Yeah, the focus shift primarily due to these.
I gotta say, it's a lovely moon outside, full moon, and wait a minute, full moon.
Yeah, insert your own Dragon Ball jokes here.
Not just that, but you'd think he would remember that today is supposed to be a full moon.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the one day that we're all outside, it happens to be the full moon.
And he forgot to take his potion too, because normally he takes a potion.
Get the fuck out of here, everyone.
And wouldn't you know, this is unfortunately going to give Peter the chance to get away.
Bye.
See ya.
Also, that transformation is really creepy looking.
So wait, does he always spawn a new...
It's a bad guy.
Hold on, wait, hold on.
Yeah, that's what Jova is about to say.
He had his clothes on when he turned into human. Does this mean he always spawns a new pair of clothes whenever he gets turned back into human?
Apparently, it's like the Hulk.
Yeah.
So I guess this means that they could... Oh wait, that's right, they don't use forensics in the Wizarding World.
Also, yeah, by the way, werewolves in this universe are anything but cute.
Yeah.
Again, normally he'd be better if he took his potion. I forget if they explain why he did not take his potion.
Hermione, no.
Hermione? Let's not.
Bad Hermione.
You're supposed to be intelligent one. Come on.
In fact, Hermione, weren't you the one who... Oh wait, no, she didn't know about him taking the potion that helps him control himself. But all the same, still...
Doggy.
Oh, Snape.
For once, he's coming to their rescue.
Snape, you want to turn? There you go.
I'll forget the fact that you just knocked me out for now.
That's one of the redeeming qualities of him.
It makes so much sense in hindsight to Shiroi.
Yeah.
50 billion points for Gryffindor.
You know what? I'll take those 50 billion points from Gryffindor. We've earned it. As in, we've earned to have them be taken away.
Is this War of the Monsters now?
Again, though, I mean, it's... Yeah, I don't think it was ever explained even in the book why Lupin just forgot to take his potion that day.
I guess stress or some shit.
Or wait, I think maybe it has to do with him tracking down Peter or something?
Probably.
Also,
Harry, you're an idiot.
Also, I guess, to be fair, in the books it is explained that, Hogwarts does know he's a werewolf, and that's why they have the whole potion thing going for him. And,
How convenient.
And and technically he was able to go a whole full school segment, being a werewolf and all without hurting anyone. Yet still, I do have to wonder if it may have been the best idea to have a werewolf who could kill you be the defense against the dark arts teacher.
Jova, they had someone with the Dark Lord of the Wizarding World on the back of their head be defense against the Dark Arts teacher. Do you really think they'd draw the line at werewolves?
That's the sad thing. He's the best defense against the Dark Arts teacher, yet he's also potentially the most dangerous. Like, don't get me wrong, Quirrell was working for Voldemort.
It's a trade-off, Jova.
Yet comparing Quirrell to, say, Remus, who can, do stuff physically. Also, it helped that Voldemort was as his weakest in the series then.
I still have no idea why the hell Snape can't just be the teacher, considering Dumbledore trusts him, as we were going to learn eventually.
Oh, because he wanted to give Remus Lupin a chance, and
Dumbledore just wanted a dick with Snape.
And apparently Dumbledore wanted to keep an eye on Quirrell in hindsight. That was apparently the reason he let him be defense against the Dark Arts teacher. Okay, and this is where I have to say it. Okay. Hogwarts, in regards to keeping students protected, maybe you're the problem. Like, I honestly do have.
But to be fair, Harry is sitting with Sirius Black right now, so.
Again, though, you think maybe Hogwarts would have told him, hey, if a student happens to be, in the vicinity of Sirius Black, like maybe he's holding them captive, don't drain them? But no! Apparently.
No, the Expecto, this Patronus isn't strong enough.
Like, seriously, though, imagine if some student got kidnapped by Sirius Black. Then what? Oh, yeah, what's happening to Harry? Again, at this point, I have to wonder, Hogwarts, maybe you're the ones who are the true danger.
Yeah.
Ain't that a lovely face under that cloak?
Yeah, sweet.
Huh. I do believe he's losing his soul right now.
Yep, according to some pretentious indie movie, it's 21 grams precisely.
Oh, would you look at that? A stag.
That's a very little soul.
Yeah. Are we in Bambi now?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
Also, do any of you, are as bad as me and have a Patronus through Potable? Because
Never tried.
Never tried.
mine's a hedgehog, actually.
How fitting.
Okay, now...
Gotta expect to fast.
Okay, now here's
Yeah.
another thing that is kind of not explained that well in the movie. See, Harry's now gonna think that's his father. Why? Because his father turned into a stag, being an animagus back when, he, Sirius, and Peter Pettigrew became animaguses to help Lupin, whenever he turned into a wolf. Here, they don't mention that for some reason, so, yeah, Harry immediately comes to the conclusion that's his father. Not explained that well here.
Alfonso, the
I'm guessing it's because-
He's funny.
Well, remember, Jova, Harry looks a lot like his father, so maybe he, that's why he thought that.
And yet the line everyone says is, you have your mother's eyes. Like, no one except Snape in a later book says he looks like his father. Okay, and yeah,
Here we go.
this is where the climax feels rushed in the movie compared to the book. Well, crud. They didn't already?
Yeah, they're just sticking with him.
Oh.
Yeah, whatever.
Cut to the chase. Don't spill the whole backstory, even though that's what we
No,
asked
that's
for.
just the issue. Ron wants to feel important in this movie, so that's
Yeah.
what he's doing.
He's the
Bless
Sokka
him.
of this group.
No.
Dumbledore's a dick.
He really is the Sokka of this.
Dumbledore, I know that we often have to think with complex fans, but can't you ever just for once try testifying? Like, Snape can't lie. Why can't they just testify and say, hey, Peter Pettigrew is there? That would automatically cast enough doubt to stave off the punishment.
Jova, as we will know later on, the Ministry of Magic is extremely stupid when it comes to
Politicians are
accepting the truth.
stupid, who knew?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Even, no matter how stupid they are,
Stop the presses.
no matter how stupid they are, they can't pretty much, ignore the testimony of not only Albus Dumbledore, but Snape, who was there as an eyewitness. Heck,
In other news, water is wet.
heck,
Yes.
I mean, heck, you even get Lupin back whenever he, calms down from his nightly run. Good luck.
Oh boy, here we go.
Ladies and
Time
gentlemen,
for
the
MacGuffin.
most broken MacGuffin in the history of both literature and film.
That's right.
The time
They
turner.
give these to students like Hermione just so they can take classes at the same time. Thank God,
I
no.
don't think they would have given it to anyone else other than someone like Hermione, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, Shuri, we never know. But either way, though.
That's the
Again,
set
never-
being
sorry.
outside of this book and the cursed child. It's being things are never going to be used nor be brought up again.
It goes without saying, but how it should have ended, when they did a video on...
Yeah, they had a field day with this.
Yeah, it's like, okay, how it should have ended actually... Okay, it's mainly dealing with the final one, but basically... One, Snape manages to survive because, well, duh, he's a potions master, so of course he'd be able to develop an antidote for the snake bite later. But also, well, he also kills Voldemort with a gun. No one ever thinks to do that. But also, they get the idea, hey, let's use the time turner and actually use it to prevent Lord Voldemort's rise to power.
Maybe they realized it was so broken that would, pull the plot apart, so we can't do that.
Again, this is a problem, though.
I can't believe so early in the franchise, J.K. Rowling manages to trap herself in a narrative cul-de-sac this easily.
And I know what you're thinking, audience. Well, obviously there's the whole time travel could get screwed up thing. No, actually, because the only rule involving this is just never to see yourself, otherwise you'll go mad. There's absolutely no rules about messing with time, because let's be quite honest, Hermione's messing with time whenever she so much as goes to her everyday class schedule segment.
Yeah.
So the only rule is not to see yourself. So you're telling me that no one in the entire flippin' wizard community thinks to use this against Voldemort when things get their absolute worst? Ball!
Or even that, Joe, use this in reverse. You're telling me that Voldemort nor any of his cronies ever managed to get their hands on one of these.
You know what's sad, Tio? A Harry Potter sequel, the sequel to a Harry Potter musical, actually does have some of Voldemort's cronies using a time turner to try and kill Harry before he reaches his prime. Like, gee, why didn't you think of that?
Also, I double-checked, and yes, Emma Watson did in fact slap Draco's actor.
All right, so okay, and here's
also apparently I don't know if it's true, but apparently at some point like on in the books they say, oh, all the time turners have been wrecked.
Yeah, I
cursed
hold
child.
The theory that Rowling may have written herself into a corner.
Oh, sure, I look no farther than the Elder Wand, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, okay, and here's probably my biggest issue with the movie. This is the actual true climax. See, okay, in the book, of course, in the book, the time turner was kind of a bit more better explained. Of course, now they have to rush things. Here's the problem. In the book, it was a proper redoing of time, but they witnessed and found out how things went. In this movie, however, it gets rushed, and let's just say there's a certain conversation that kind of gets axed a bit because of it.
Honestly, I think a lot of book series, this one in particular, could benefit from TV series adaptations.
Yeah.
Well, Lord of the Rings. Oh no, in Lord of the Rings is a pretty good.
Again. I'm not gonna say that this is the worst bout of rushing adaptation-wise. That honor is saved for Goblet of Fire.
That's the next film.
Honestly, I'm gonna say this right now, Dwibs. If any film had to get axed down terribly, I'd have rather it have been Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah.
Blame Waller again. Funny enough, that film got delayed by a year because Warner Brothers felt they made too much money with The Dark Knight in 2008.
Anyway, so yeah, turns out it was Hermione who threw the stones back then.
It's like, we've made too much money. Let's slow down a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Paige. One of your favorite films delayed one of my favorite film series for a year.
Wait, which one?
Pedro likes Half-Blood Prince.
No, Dark Knight. What am I about?
No, Dark Knight, Jobber.
That's the thing. Is like how, like when you.
Well, Dubs, don't blame the movie. Don't blame the movie for Warner Brothers' shitty management. Come on.
What are you gonna say, Sherry?
It's like if something's made you a lot of money, surely it's like you'd want to make more money in that year. It's like, nah, we've actually made too much at this
Maybe
point.
what they could have done. See, here's the thing. Unlike most people, I'm actually.
Oh wait, hold on, Miss Burt. So, it turns out, of all people, it's Hermione who peeks out at herself. Why? Listen to this. Really?
Oops.
And yeah, Hermione technically saw herself, yet she didn't go mad, so I guess Harry and company are immune to the whole don't see yourself rule.
Also, even though you could very clearly see her coming out of the bush there, she's still a bit more tactful than that assassin. In whatever that fucking movie was called.
Which one?
The Neil Breen movie.
Fateful Findings?
Fateful Findings at the end,
there we go.
Also, sure, right. Guard your laptops well.
I am resigning as
Yes, I
president
will.
of the bank.
The bank.
Of the bank. I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna continue hacking into these government systems
What-
to see what I find out
What bag? Northern Rock.
about all this national, international corruption I know is going on.
Also, getting a bit ahead, I love how the system of the Wizarding World is so inept that even though they're gonna sneak Buckbeak out, oh yeah, that's right, we kind of glossed over it, but yeah, we're also rescuing Buckbeak from his fate. Even though they're sneaking Buckbeak out, in a few years later, he will be able to return to the school grounds completely legally.
Come on, Buckbeak.
Probably because the people that are in charge of the ministry at the time were ousted.
Well, yeah, I mean, heck, Kingsley is way better than Fudge.
What about that? What about the guy from the 7th film?
Wasn't Kingsley Ministry of Magic by then?
I
No. In
think
the
so.
7th film, the minister for a bit in that one was some guy off Love Actually.
Oh, right. Wasn't he working for Voldemort, though, at the time?
No.
No, I think he was a vampire, though.
A vampire.
Oh, yeah,
No.
that's right. Yeah. Or at least it was rumored he was a vampire. Oh. So, yeah, it turns out Dumbledore knew ahead of time that, they would need a
Of course he
distraction.
does.
Like, Dumbledore, I know that you plan a lot of things, but how did you plan this one? I honestly have to... Oh, wait, that's right.
It's like, we've got to get him back. It's like, oh, isn't this amazing?
True, it's the perfect crime.
Yeah, he was so chained up he flew off.
Well, technically he was only chained up on his neck, so his wings could have been
And
free
Dumbledore
anyway.
wants a cup of tea, apparently.
So what did the
Of course.
So what does the executioner get to chop up?
What?
I'm still getting paid, right?
So,
A pumpkin.
I guess he
Pumpkin
chopped...
over
what
In
did-
frustration.
I wonder if he chopped it thinking Buckbeak might be hiding inside, and yes, that's what happened. So,
Yeah. Buckbeak's trying all by himself and hid inside a pumpkin.
But Jova, just because he's an executioner doesn't mean that he's stupid. I know it's a common stereotype, but
well, again, Tio, it's the Ministry of Magic we're talking about.
true.
Also, the bird doesn't look too bad in the day, but here he does look a bit awkward.
So now, what are we gonna do now?
I guess it's the lighting.
So what are we gonna do? Oh, now, audience, I kid you not. Now we're going to just sit around and wait. To be
Also
fair,
gonna,
this is also what happens in the book.
Well, sorry, tell Jova, let me just tell you that it still makes a lot more sense than whatever happened
Wait,
in
you could just-
Prince of
wait,
Persia War Within.
Wait, you could just freeze the tree the whole time.
I'm not even kidding, Shiri. There's a moment in Prince of Persia games where this exact situation happens. The prince essentially having a situation similar to this, where he needs to manipulate the event of his past self, in a sense. But instead of just sitting and wait, he has a marginal advantage, but the game essentially throws a way of making him unconscious for hours so he conveniently wakes up at the right time.
Right.
It's stupid.
So anyway, Dibs, to address your question, yeah, actually they do establish that basically there's a certain spot on the tree that you need to hit with a certain spell. Kind of like in the video games, surprisingly.
Guess Lupin found it.
Guys, Harry may have seen his father, who may have secretly been alive and faked his death all along.
Sure.
I just
Yeah.
realized J.K. Rowling was doing the whole conspiracy theory before fans had that be a hot thing. Maybe it was his ghost.
Ooh.
I'm the ghost.
Actually, now that I think about it,
Constantly reminded every waking minute of his life that his parents are dead.
now that I think about it, couldn't his parents technically come to him as ghosts? With or without what, anyway.
Yeah, they did actually.
They could come to him as Jedi spirits or something. I don't know.
Or maybe if Dumbledore told him about the what, but that's way later down the road. Which was in the what that we've
So
seen.
basically, the conclusion we need to derive from this is that much like Pokemon, Harry Potter is a retcon nightmare.
Yeah.
And the sad
Yeah.
thing is, like, well, it only starts being a retcon nightmare, I think, with the third installment. I mean, don't get me wrong, the first two set out their base. It's just, even book-wise, the third one had a lot of twists and turns that'll later come into play. I mean, again, when you introduce time travel and yet have it be ignored for the rest of the story, you got an issue.
Nope. Yeah. Wow. Hermione's a good werewolf impression, apparently.
I know, right? Shame that it didn't do her good whenever she ran away from Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't think about doing about a werewolf tracing where the sound came from, you idiots.
Don't worry, Hermione. I'm sure this is the last time you'll ever get chased and interfere with wolves. Oh wait.
You know, guys, for Steve Clovis apparently considering Hermione a creator's pet, he kind of makes her a bit dumb.
Actually, yeah, I don't think this happened in the book.
Hermione is a bit out of character in general in this story.
Again, it's the story in general. Again, this was never my favorite, and I just never got why it was so many people's favorites. Like, yeah, a lot of cool stuff happens, book-wise and movie-wise. And again, I like the book
What's
better
your
than
favorite,
the movie.
by the way, Jova?
My favorite book or movie, which...
Movie.
Oh, God, let's see. That's either 2 or 8.
You mean 7-2?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
The 7 part 2.
He's behind you.
He's behind you.
Hey, Lupin! We always had good times, so go get him, Buckbeak!
Buckbeak uses scratch. It's not very effective.
He's not himself at this point.
Get!
Jesus.
You are so awesome, Buckbeak. I sure hope that we actually get to see you come in handy when you make your return to the series. Oops.
Oh no, the Dementors.
But hey, it's just in time. I love how the Dementors are actually going right over them, and yet they don't notice the 2 obvious snacks there. How courteous of them.
Well, they have got other priorities, Joe.
Yeah, again, they seem to have quite a skewed priorities when they were feeding off of other students before Sirius came about. But, whatever. So, now we have to wait and see. Where might Harry's father be coming from?
I wonder. Any minute now.
Any second now.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, any minute now.
Yeah. Hermione is so negative.
But nobody came.
Yes.
Sherry, why do you have to link everything to Undertale?
It just happens. Don't you see? It connects because it has a strong bone to it.
So, in a twist of fate, it turns out Harry is one of the few who can actually generate now a Patronus that takes on a physical form. And what is this physical form, you may wonder?
Well, we saw it before, Jova, so at this point, yeah.
Stag.
Well, yeah. I guess.
Oh dear.
Just in case anyone might have been wondering if that wasn't the same stag, but yeah, that's the stag. Again, like his father. Finally! Something to connect it with his father!
I forgot. Is there a particular connection between how the animals are presented?
Again, remember, Harry's father turned into a stag whenever he helped comfort Lupin.
Okay, that makes sense.
When it comes to the Animagus, yeah, it does have to do with that. And, God, did they say that if his father's Patronus was also a stag?
Wasn't his mother's Patronus a stag? I forgot.
No, his mother's Patronus was a fawn.
I can't remember that they ever said that.
Actually, did she have a Patronus? Hey!
It's me, Austin!
I love Hermione's look at him, like she thinks, oh god, he's cracked.
Yeah, he's delusional. No.
I love how no one around the entire castle of Hogwarts is able to hear that.
Yeah.
And okay, here we go. Now, originally, this was the part where we got a nice, heartfelt speech between Harry and him, and oh, wait, no, just blow the door off.
Also, I'm surprised nobody did that either.
Well, we do get a nice little conversation afterwards.
Yeah,
also,
but
why was he not being guarded in that room? I know he was in a tower, but still.
Yep. You
That's a
think
good
Filch
point.
will be around 24/7?
Or,
Or at least the
maybe some
cat.
Dementors?
Yeah.
Remember, they were shooed off earlier.
Oh, Hogwarts,
Oh, yeah.
Hogwarts. What am I going to do with you? Unfortunately, now Sirius has to go on the run because Peter Pettigrew is gone. We don't have no evidence. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, at least Gary Oldman gets to visit the set of Hogwarts.
He'll be.
Yay.
Oh my god, I'm not quite sure if we'll ever get to be back.
But yeah, I haven't got any evidence, Harry. So
We can't, even Phoenix Wright can save you from this
I
one.
expect you're tired of hearing this. Really, I'm a bit tired of hearing this. It's the first time anyone's told him that
Told him what?
he looks like his father.
That's a good point. Again, it's always the mother's eye scenes. Okay, maybe Snape told him he's a spinning image of his father, but other than that, never really heard anyone say he looks like his father.
See, Jover, we did get the conversation. What are you on about?
Well, again, it's an abridged version of the conversation, and it's a...
Of course, it's a bridge. It's a movie.
What I mean is, like, well, it kind of leaves out some information that...
What, do you want to tell the whole conversation? That'll take like 10 minutes.
Not the whole one. I'm just saying it leaves out some bits that would have been nice for them to actually say here, except they have to save them for later.
I don't get what you're saying.
I won't go into full detail. Basically, he goes into a few more details about how he'll, handle his hideaway stuff, and it actually does foreshadow how his role in the fourth book, quote-unquote role. The problem is that he didn't explain it there, so that kind of left other people all the more confused in Goblet of Fire.
Even if they did do it, he wouldn't have been able to do that kind of stuff in the fourth film because Oldman was busy doing Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, though, it's like, well... And look, it's nothing too terrible on its own. It's just, again, it's an example of I feel that this adaptation got a bit rushed in comparison to the other two adaptations, which, for the most part, I felt fine with. By the way, get it, guys? Time is running out. Tick, tock.
Coron loves clocks.
I
love this bit. I love this bit what Dumbledore says.
Mm-hmm.
Did what?
Okay, that was awesome.
Because remember, technically they never did it yet.
Okay. I'll admit, it's a shame that people remember Richard Harris's Goblet of Fire performance over his
Michael
Prisoner.
Gambon.
God dang it. Okay, why do they have to leave Ron out of this? In the book,
They literally say
They just said that, Jover. Were you paying attention?
Yeah, they literally go for the let us never speak of this again.
Ha ha ha.
He broke his leg.
The deal...
It's like nearly got bitten off.
Well,
But
yeah.
again, what
thing is,
everyone
like,
means, but again, what I mean, like the fact that Ron is so pointless in this story is so depressing.
Not to mention, at least
he told the spiders to piss off.
what, by saying ridiculous?
No. Remember that little bad dream Ron was having.
Oh, well, that. And also, I mean, to be fair, at least in the book, they actually do get around to telling him. Here it's just he's left in the dark, like, poor Ron. Of course, now Remus will have to resign his Defense Against the Dark Arts Master.
But hey, at least he gets to leave of his own accord.
Which leaves me a question. See, okay, in the book, this happened at the end of the school year. However, here, we're still in the middle of the school year, so... Who's going to be the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher until book 4?
Snape replaced him for a bit.
Snape covered for him, so probably he'll do it this time.
Again, though, we're just left up to... Okay, moviegoers are left up to...
Also...
Jover, do you really want these films to explain every single nook and cranny? We'll be here forever.
My deal's like, why didn't they just do it like the book and have this happen at the end of this...
I thought you hated that kind of thing.
Let me finish. I'm saying it's like, why not just do like what the book did and have this happen at the end of the school year, like in the book? Like, because, then it eliminates us having to ask these questions.
Yeah, but that kind of detail's not even that important anyway. We're near the end of the film and done all big stuff anyway. If we're doing nooks and crannies, we'll be here for... The film will be 4 hours.
Like I said, Dwibs, these issues on their own aren't too bad. It's just they culminate into showing how I feel that this adaptation was not handled the best. Again, it's my main critique on the film as a whole, and it is a film adaptation, so Might as well critique it as such. And again, like I said, it doesn't ruin the film. It's just...
Really? Well, the way you've talked about it.
Wow, Dwibs, whenever someone sounds critical
Every
of
time it
something-
happens, you groan. Every time it happens, you like a really loud groan.
One thing I will
Well,
say,
it's not just
didn't
me
really agree
groaning.
with.
Hold on, Sherry, what's up?
I didn't really agree with Jova earlier, but when it comes to, the latter hour of this movie, there are stuff that they could have included in there and that would have still kept the plot moving forward, because
Not to.
they hang on the same thing for a while, and it does drag out, like I said before.
Not to worry, guys. Not to worry, guys. We'll have a whole movie doing that next time.
And don't worry, Dwibs, I will also... Oh, hi, Night Guy. And don't worry, Dwibs, I will also critique Goblet of Fire for doing it. Again, it's just like,
Maybe
well...
that movie agrees with me, because this one has, like, one of the most drawn-out climaxes, and the next movie has one of the most rushed climaxes.
Yeah, even in the book.
Yeah. Ron opened Harry's present. What a dick.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's a firebolt!
This is not how he got it in the book at all.
It's not. It's really not. Not only that...
Well, in the book, I can't remember given.
In the book, in the book, it was in the middle of a school year after his nimbus had been broken. We actually got to see it in action as opposed to just this last scene, and we didn't know who sent it to him until the end of the school year, where again, Sirius actually writes him a letter.
I mean, we didn't need to get that backstory. I was just making the remark about it.
Yeah. And it's a
Oh
scene that
shit!
will...
I'm gonna crash into something!
Ah!
That
Blur!
close up.
Wow, Harry was going so fast he ended the movie.
So, of course, now, Remus left Harry the map. That's right, Harry's got another new souvenir that I'm sure he'll hold on to.
He dropped.
And
He
it will
dropped. He left it on the. He left it on the Hogwarts Express and never got it back.
Well,
Yeah.
considering what happens to a lot of his stuff later on, I wouldn't be
Yeah, he keeps
surprised.
abandoning it on the Hogwarts Express. He's so clumsy.
So, final thoughts?
So that was Prisoner of Azkaban. Who wants to go first with final thoughts?
I'll go.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
then.
good.
Too.
Well, go ahead, Leaves. I might as well.
Alright.
Yeah, this is my favorite film of the series. And I'm not saying it's the best, but I'm saying it's my favorite, mostly because of the themes it has. Not to mention, it's a lot. It's still a lot of fun to watch, and in my opinion, it has the best blend of the tone of the previous two films and the tone of the future films. Also, it's got the best score in the series. What?
Okay.
I was just laughing, that's all.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what? Do you disagree?
Well, again, Chamber of Secrets' score, man.
Well, Joe, the Chamber of Secrets' score was just half of the first one.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the original tunes were pretty good.
What few there were, but still.
I digress.
Okay, next. Who wants to be next?
Sure.
You
Right?
can go next then, since you wanted to.
No, well, I'll be quick. I enjoyed it still, but I think it's a movie that, seeing again after these years, I'm more noticing the flaws than anything else.
Mhm.
No, my favorite story in general still remains Book 2, Chamber of Secrets.
Same.
But I wouldn't deny too much of this movie, but I pointed out through all the movie what I consider the problem. The fact that the shift is a bit too rough. Ron is very mistreated. There are a bunch of plot holes, and the fact that the time turner mechanic generates an entire black hole in the whole continuity. That Rowling couldn't fix even if she wanted, because that's the same of Chaos Emeralds being used for time travel in Sonic 06 when you think about it.
Like, at least Chaos Emeralds are
And it never
limited.
get used for that purpose again.
Here it just works because it's much more contained and then everyone forgets about it. But that's pretty much it. But regardless, I'd still regard it a bit more than the movies I actually really don't like of franchise. So there's that. Anyway, next.
I guess I'll go next. Oh, wait, you want to go, Shirai?
Oh, sure, I don't have much to say anyway. Aside from, again, the latter hour dragging a little bit, this is one of my favorite movies. I'm not sure if it is my favorite, but still pretty great. It was one of my favorite books too, and I think a lot of the flaws that we see in the plot here can be chalked up to the original book, honestly.
Well, I mean, not to disagree, but a lot of my critiques were actually how they left out crucial information from the book.
I wouldn't say some of
still,
the stuff you
I
mentioned
can't
was
have been that
crucial,
crucial.
honestly.
True.
Still,
There
Yeah,
were,
I don't
there
think it
were
was
some
that
elements.
crucial, honestly.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
were,
True.
For me, I'd put it more so that it would have been nice to have some of the stuff they left out in this movie, but it wasn't actually needed at all. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not needed in general. So no, this was a pretty this is a pretty great movie.
Yeah.
All right, Pedro.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as you guys know, I care much more about story momentum and emotional engagement than details. So for me, the minor holes created by the fact that they don't put in as much information from the book as Jova would like. Yeah, they're technically issues, but I don't particularly care much for them because I still think the movie does a good job in keeping the story going and going with stuff. I don't think it's the best. It's not even it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite Harry Potter movie, and I don't even think it's the best. It's a pretty damn good one. However, I still don't see. I never really saw the brilliance of this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really. It's about on par with the other two, if you ask me. It's not neither better nor worse, if you ask me. It's just a really good movie.
Forgot to ask, Pedro, what's your favorite book and movie of the franchise?
I regard both Deathly Hallows movies as a fantastic finale to me because I love the overall structure that they took with those two parts. The first part is like a big character piece, whereas the second part is, of course, the big climatic showdown. I really enjoyed how they handled those two parts personally.
So I'm guessing that means that Deathly Hallows is also your favorite book.
I haven't read the books, so
okay.
I can only speak for the movies.
No problem.
So yeah, I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's the masterpiece that a lot of people make it out to be, but then again, a lot of people like to overrate Alfonso Cuarón's movies. So I guess it's par for the course, I guess.
And to give him credit, this was the new blip in Harry Potter movie back when Harry Potter was really popular. So there's that.
So yeah, pretty good for my book. Go ahead, Jova.
Yeah, okay, I'll start by saying that yes, this is a great film, part of the course of Harry Potter films. I will say this though, like Pedro, I never got the praise for this film. I mean, in the sense that this was the best Harry Potter film. Like, I'm gonna be quite honest. Okay, without talking about the story, it's also the visuals and stuff. Like, again, here, yeah, they were doing the studio change yet. It's not that well disguised, and there's a lot of stuff that does stick out if you're a guy who, pays attention to stuff like scenery. And, in a place as iconic as Hogwarts, you tend to pay attention to those. It's like, yeah, I feel that most of this movie's shortcomings are from the fact that this was a transition on many levels, like, new Dumbledore actor, new stage set here and there, so I can get maybe that being reason for some of the shortcomings. I will say this also, to be fair, a few problems from this are the movie adapting things from the book, and I will say this movie does actually handle some things better than the book, to admit. However, I do feel that adaptation-wise, this was one of the... I don't even want to call it sloppy because it's still a pretty good adaptation, but okay, by Harry Potter standards, this was one of the more sloppier adaptations. And yeah, I do feel that the pacing does kind of get a bit maligned here and there, especially during the climax, which feels like a combination of slow or rushed at times. And I'll say this. Whereas Goblet of Fire overall does have worse pacing all around, I will say that I actually did like how its climax was paced better than in this movie. In the sense that this movie, I feel they could have slowed down the pace just a little bit to have us process more, especially considering how it's freaking time travel of all things. However, other than that, again, the effects are still good, the acting is top-notch, and yeah, I feel that they actually did do a good job picking out the right actors to portray these characters. Like, yeah, that's one thing with Harry Potter. It's like, well, except for maybe one or two characters, I always feel that they get the casting just right. This movie's no exception. It was still a lot of fun. And, yeah, it's a good movie. Does it have problems? Yes. Is it my favorite Harry Potter movie or book? No, absolutely not. But that said, it's still fun. So yeah,
right,
good
then.
movie
Okay.
overall, and I guess that just leaves next up. Is there an after credits scene?
No.
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 Yeah, Nick Fury will ask Harry Potter to join the Avengers, and this gag is already old. Go ahead, Lives.
Okay, so that was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
No. Teo. I'm sorry, if you don't mind me. Teo. No, that doesn't want to happen. Remember, this is Warner Brothers, which means that Ben Affleck is going to come in to ask Harry to join the Justice League. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
But of course,
Okay,
he'll
that
enter
was-
in by throwing a battering that Harry was only able to duck because he's a wizard.
Go ahead, Lives.
That was Prisoner of Azkaban. Hope you enjoyed it. Join us next time for Goblet of Fire. I'm
I'll
sure we're
admit-
all looking forward to that one.
This one will be a
Don't
fun
kill
one.
me. I do actually like Goblet of Fire better. I like it
I
better
like
as a
that movie
than
better
this
than
one.
About Prince at least.
We shall see. See you for that.
Mhm.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.